Welcome, clobberers, to Saturday Night Star Trek number 68. Uh, we again, because we are here. And we are going to celebrate the end of season 6. We'll review the final episode and then even its second part, which is technically of season 7, but what the hell? And and we're gonna have our big season ending party. I think I've decided that let's have fun at the end of each season, like a really. We're gonna be doing this for a long time. This is episode 68. We got a long way to go. So I figured, at the end of an episode, a long, tiring season, we've all just worked our asses off reviewing a season of Star Trek. In this case, The Next Generation, and others. So how about we have a little kickback party at the end of each season. I've decided that's a new tradition here for us, and I'm looking forward to it. So because it's been fun so far, it's worked out the past 2 times we've done it, I think, and so that's going to be a regular thing now. And I thank you all so much for popping in. Always have such a fantastic time, and I want to say, everyone, say hello to a wonderful, beautiful, magnificent First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs. Thanks for being here, number one.
Hello, boss. Hello, Captain. I hope it's not insubordinate for me to say, I love you. Welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek, everyone. It is so good to see all of your beautiful, happy, shining faces. And Captain, my Captain, how I love you. Thank you for creating this wonderful space for the 735 Club, for the 66 to 05ers. Let's get it on.
Indeed. And it's so wonderful to see you, and so wonderful to see all of you popping in there. Just great. Our Saturday nights have just become such a special time for all of us. Just the best, and you all make it so. Dare I say? So, we'll do our shout outs in a second.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's see. We'll do a couple of quick show notes, then we'll do our shout outs, and we'll get down to business. Let's see here. I'm just trying to make people, our good friends keep popping in, and I'd like to, make sure we get them all.
Hail, the gang's all here.
Indeed. What a gang. We have the best gang on Saturday nights. There ain't a better one. Ain't no better one.
It's true.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. All right, folks. Just one quick show note. Monday night, of course, those of us who are comic book fans, there's a horrible tragedy for fans of comics everywhere. The passing of one of the greatest giants of comic book art, one of the greatest giants of the comic book industry, the late great Neil Adams.
Yeah.
And Clobbering Times can't let anything to that magnitude go without doing the proper tribute. So Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. I believe my friend Valkyrie will be joining me. We'll see who else, and we will pay tribute to one of the giants, one of the masters of comic book art, the legend. I mean, just a monstrosity in terms of his impact on comics. Well, we'll get all into that Monday night. But
I'm glad you're doing that, because on a little birdie, one of our listeners actually reached out to me and told me that that he had witnessed some stuff being posted about Adams on social media. And
Really?
Once he saw you posting the stuff about Adams, that he knew that he could trust the information, talking about Adams' career and so on and so forth. So I think there are a lot of people that are waiting for the grand poobah of all geekdom to dig into that, because, you are a voice, you are a subject matter expert that people trust. People really trust you. And so I am so pleased to hear that you will be paying tribute to Adams, and that you will create that space for people to celebrate his work, to celebrate his life, and to come together to recognize his passing. So very, very happy about that. I will spread the word about that, Captain.
Oh, thank you. Well, this, for right now, for the comics greats who are still with us, there was probably no bigger one that was still with us until, of course, the other day. It's about as big as it gets, really. I mean, as far as the ones who are left, because so many of the greats are gone. So, R.I.P. Neil Adams. This show, of course, even though it's Star Trek, and you didn't have a lot to do with Star Trek, although he did do some things. Some the cover for he did some Star Trek work for Power Records in the 70s. We dedicate this Saturday night Star Trek to you, sir, and we'll pay proper tribute Monday night. Yep. So thank you all so much for popping in here. Let's see here. We will start our shout outs with our communications officer, who gives us a very kind $5 super chat. Jill, we love you. You shouldn't have. Thank you so much.
She was at a bug boil. Oh no, she was at a bug boil. Avert your eyes.
So I still need to work on my best worst 3. I won't be in the chat except to put in the review. So see you soon, everyone. Well, of course, you can be at the after party, which is not too long from now, if you so choose. We would love to have you, Jill. So,
love you, honey. Thank you for stopping in. Enjoy your bug boil. Don't forget to put on extra butter. Clobby, plug your ears. Enjoy your bug boil. Extra garlic butter.
Oh, no. She says she's gone from that. Actually, she was. But at any rate, hopefully you can make it to the after party, Jill. If not, let us know. But we would love to have you. Let's see here. But by the way, I've done no work on my best 3, worst 3 either. I'm just going to do them off the cuff like I did last time because I never think about it.
Woohoo!
Just Jill, what's up, Jobber? Speaking of that, let's start out with our shout outs since I just blurted that out there.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome, everyone.
It's time to take attendance. Your XO needs to take attendance. Let's do it.
Just Joe, what's up, brother? Jobber, good to see you, buddy. Jobber. Also with us, of course, is the wonderful Jill, aforementioned Jill. Steve Mitchum, he's out there working out, pumping iron, but he did say hello. Good to see you there, brother.
Yes, I think the only thing fat on him is his head. He's like, I'm so flabby, I'm so chubby right now. I do not believe it. I've seen pictures of you. You are the Thor of Las Vegas. So no. You're just a fat head. That's the only thing fat on you is your head.
Let's see here. Yep.
And kiss Maddie's whole face for me.
That what she said. Michael Beacom popped in earlier. I think he said he had to run. I don't know. But Michael Beacom, shout out to you. Great to see you. We hope you will be with us tonight. Our great friend, the great J-Man.
J-Man!
Oh,
hey, did you know that J-Man's wife released her author's page on Amazon today? I don't know if she had done it previously, but J-Man posted the URL. So if you follow J-Man on Twitter, please go and support his wife. She just released a new book of poetry. I think it's only $1. It's really cheap. I bought it today. Please go and support our independent authors. I read the title of it and I read the synopsis of some of her work. It's kind of scary. So go support J-Man's wife. Go share the link. Go buy her book of poetry.
Absolutely. And if J-Man's link, I don't have it on at the second, but it is in my description below. So please go to his channel. And if I had those other links, I'd give it to you right now. But I don't exactly have them. But he could probably find them through there somehow. Mm-hmm. How can he find the link to his wife's thing again?
He's got it posted on his Twitter. I've got it posted on my Twitter, and I hope people will go and find it and buy her beautiful book. Her book is kind of scary.
Oh, really?
I think it's going to be scary.
Wow, that's good though. That could be a good thing. The scary book.
True.
Well, by the way, I did forget show notes. Sorry, folks. I did forget to make 2 important show notes.
What?
This Wednesday night will not be a wild card Wednesday. It will be Clobby's Clubhouse, which is usually on Thursday nights. This week will be on Wednesday night.
Yep.
9 p.m. Central Time, the usual time. Because I will have to. I'll be the Thursday night. I'll be on the Comics Division's special on his show. Is his usual Thursday night throwdown will be a Doctor Strange review. And I'll be joining them for that. And then Friday night, I believe 7 p.m. Central. I hope I remembered that time right. I will have the great J-Man and Mark D with the C and who knows whom else to review the new Marvel film, Doctor Who. Not Doctor Who, I wish. Oh, God. Is this Doctor Who? Wow. Maybe it is Doctor Who. Maybe I got it wrong. No, it isn't.
It might be Dr. What?
It could be Dr. Yuck.
It might be Dr. What, as in what the F.
Yeah, as you all know, this is also a comics channel. So when there's a big comic book event week, whatever the film is, every time we definitely have to put some devotion into it, talking about the films. And we did it with the Batman and Spider-Man. We did it even with the Garbage Eternals and whatever. But so we will be doing a Clobbering Time special Friday night review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's Friday night. So anytime there's a comic book film looming on out there, we deal with it.
D-Bud, I love you, D-Bud Martin.
Uh-oh.
D-Bud Martin is here. Let's say welcome to him right now. I love you very much. Thank you so much. But I love his comment, Dr. Y.
Dr. Y, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Why?
I don't. I'm afraid even
Dr.
I just
Why? Love you,
I
D-Bud.
don't even know. Let's see. Yes, and by the way, J-Man, if you could give us... Oh, there you go. Thanks, D-Bud. There you go. Subscribe to J-Man's page, please.
Yep.
To his great YouTube channel. Yes, so anyway, so just for 1 week, the clubhouse will be on a Wednesday night, and then I'll be back. We're back to normal after that, folks. Anyway, okay. Shout outs again as we get going. The wonderful Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra, congrats on your 6-month anniversary that you celebrated today.
And the crowd goes wild.
I was out. I barely got home in time to stop in to say hello there, but congrats again, everyone, you guys, on that one. Thank you so much for being here, and many more to King Dolphin TV, by the way. And there's
I don't know.
She's the
Can't
mascot.
do a dolphin. Okay? Can't do a dolphin.
She's the
I
mascot.
know Raymond
There you
likes it though, so I do it anyways, even though it's a terrible impression of a dolphin.
If Raymond likes it, we'll allow it. So. JT Kirk, buddy.
JT Kirk.
Good to see you. Good to see you there. James Caserta, hello there. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Good evening.
No, D-Bud, you're hurting there, buddy. You're not feeling that well, but shout out to the great D-Bud Martin. Good to see you, buddy.
You're not feeling well? I did not know
weather.
that.
He's having this Iron Man armor changed into some new armor, I think. So.
Oh, honey, I'm sending you a nice warm hug. I hope you're feeling better soon, sweetheart. I didn't know that you weren't feeling well. I'm sending you a warm hug.
Good to see you there, buddy. Thank you for being here. Kal-El, always
the
a
real
pleasure.
soup.
Super one. Yeah, the real soup's there, buddy. Good to see you. Mr. Angel, I hope you're doing well. If you're at the hospital, hello to all of the wonderful hospital personnel there. It's good to see you, Chef.
Please take care of our chef. We love Mr. Angel. Please take really good care of him. And thank you for letting him listen to the show. Hopefully we won't run too late so he won't get into trouble again. But please take care of our friend. And I just want to thank all the staff who have tuned in previously and thanked us for our wonderful programming and said such nice things, to all the orderlies, the doctors, and the nurses caring for our wonderful friend, our chef, our ship's chef. We doff our cap to thee.
Indeed. The Dad Man clan's here, Mr. and Mrs.
Yay! And Ange. I'm sending my love to Ange.
Love you all. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friends. Thank you for being here. Hope you guys are having a great night. Dad Man clan. Enigmatic Drop Bear. Hey there, ED.
ED! I know he's going to drop the mic tonight.
Always does. Hey, Fet for Hire. It's great to see you. I'm honored to see you here. Love your work.
Hello.
You do marvelous work, sir.
Oh, Chef did get permission to be here. He says, I'm doing okay. That you are receiving greetings from the staff. And he's got a beautiful little smiling, laughing face. He says, I got permission this time.
Oh, excellent. Good. Thank you, Chef, so much. And good. And again, hail to that wonderful staff that's hanging out with you there.
Yeah.
Tyrell 72. Good to see you, Tyrell.
Tyrell.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Oh, honored by another person we hadn't seen in a while, but she's wonderful, lovely, the beautiful Wendy Webb.
Wendy
Trauma
Webb is
warrior.
a superhero name. I love this name. I cannot believe you're here.
Trauma warrior.
Yeah, and she was saying that her husband joins her in listening to this podcast, listening to this show. So hello to our very own superhero Wendy Webb and her husband.
Indeed. Good to see you both. And they call him Scuba Pete. Scuba
Pete! And
What's
Leslie
up, buddy?
and family. We love you.
I saw Scuba over there. My wonderful retro blasting friends live stream earlier this evening or this afternoon. It was great to see you over there, Duder. Wrenching for them, and I love Michael and Melinda. They had not done a stream in a while, and I was just honored that they were talking con memories, and they showed they had to. I'm gonna have to get them. They will show my ugly picture on there twice, so you can't and embarrass me like
You're
that.
not
No, I'm just kidding.
ugly.
I love. I'm just kidding. I love you, Melinda, and I love you, Michael. that was very
Yeah,
touching.
and you're definitely not ugly. You're
Sure
a
I am.
big, handsome
Sure I
guy,
am.
and you look like the Thing.
Well,
You're a big guy.
I wish.
You're made of rocks.
I would be proud to look like the Thing. Wolfie, what's up, buddy? Saw him over there too. Wolfie was over there too. Yeah. The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you and your wonderful wife and family are doing well.
Hi. It's so nice to see you.
Phantom Outsider was a man. He was a big man. What's up, buddy?
Phantom Outsider.
And Apollonie's minion, Anne.
The pepperoni. Yeah, and Simi is our official ship's dog.
Ship's doggy.
It's true. It's very true. Follow Apollonie's minion and her pepperoni on YouTube. She's a sweetheart.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Well, if anyone else pops in, we will definitely take note of it and say hello to them. That's all I have right now.
Where is Chris, Persia? Where is my Eric?
Okay.
Eric K, where are you?
They must be busy. I don't know. Maybe Gary is on tonight or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we miss you. We love you. I'm going to shout you in anyway because you're our friends, not just our wrenches. You're our friends. I love you.
So, yeah, I don't know, but I hope they're okay. So good to shout them out. Always good to shout. Yeah, whether they're here or not, man, the great Chris Persia, the great Eric K. We love those guys. So let's see here. Now, for those who do not know, for those who may have listened on, downloads, or maybe you're just coming across our show, this is, of course, Sat Trek, Saturday Night Star Trek, I should say, number 68. And since the first episode, we have been reviewing all of real Star Trek. 1966 through 2005, the only real Star Trek that there is. Nothing else counts. The 6 series and the 10 films. We have now reviewed the original series, the animated series, the original crew films, and tonight we will be finishing up season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And what we do here is my wonderful first officer reads from a text that she uses for her information on the episode. Then she talks about some of her notes. We, of course, review the episode and say what we tell you what we think about it. We rate it on an A to F scale, and then we ask our wonderful chat to give their ratings if they have ratings or any comments they may have after we get through with our rating. And so, now that you know our format, here is the book, the block text, and I will hand this over now to my first officer. Take it away, number 1.
Well, thank you so much, Captain. What you're seeing is an image of a book called Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by a woman by the name of Paula M. Block. She is a prolific writer for Star Trek. Obviously, she gets permission to do these books, so they contain a lot of information that you don't get from other books. And the great thing about Paula M. Block is that she always provides original source material. So she went to the folks at TNG and she interviewed them directly. And so that sets her book apart. So not only is it in a summary format, so it gives us a nice little summary of the episode, but she often reveals things about the episode, and she puts rumors to rest, whether they're true or false. And she does this simply through this original source material, going to people and interviewing, the actors, the production people, everyone involved with making TNG. And that's what makes this book great, because we all know that it's very difficult to sift through the information about Star Trek online. And the reason being, Trekkies have been online since the beginning, and it's a lot of user-generated stuff, and that means a lot of factoid. And although factoid gets passed around as fact, it's not. So rather than plodding through each episode and reviewing every single scene and talking about every single scene, we talk about the episode and we talk about everything we know about the episode, because that's the fun stuff. And that was Clobby's idea. Clubby wanted this crazy idea where we would all be sitting out in the common area, having a cheeseburger, a beer, or a glass of ginger ale at the convention, talking about Star Trek. And so that is the warm embrace that we have here while we are discussing Star Trek, the 735 Club.
Thank you so much, number one. And so, folks, what we're doing tonight is a little bit unusual for the regular show. Usually, when we're in the midst of a season, we review about 4 episodes of the clip. But when we get to the end of a season, because they're usually oddly numbered or whatever. In this case, we only have 1 left in the season, but they're always cliffhangers. So tonight, we're going to review 2 episodes. One is the season finale, which is entitled Descent, Part 1. And then the season opener for season 7, since it's tagged on to that same story, we just go ahead and knock that one out with it after we'll do them individually. But then after that, we will all talk a little bit about our feelings and our views on season 6 as a whole. We'll talk about the good ones, the bad ones, what have you. And then a couple of our crew might even come on, stop by, and we'll have from then on just kind of a lax, kind of just kick back, have a season finale party, a season wrap party, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
With hopefully a couple of our friends who the crew who can make it, and we'll see. So again, this will be a bit of a shorter show than usual, but we'll still, I mean, at least as far as the reviews are concerned, who knows how long the rest of it will go. So our first episode of the evening is, again, Descent Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
So take it away, number one.
Descent Part 1 and Descent Part 2. Like the captain said, we're going to review them separately because, it is not often when Trekkies rate a Part 1 and a Part 2 the same. And there are different things to discuss, so we keep it separate. So this would be the bridge between Season 6 and Season 7. So then it would be Episode 26 and Episode 1. And we first watched Part 1 on June 21st, 1993. Well, most of us anyways. So without further ado, I'm going to be reading excerpts, once again, let's stay copyright compliant, from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. And she gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman. And of course, this includes the introduction of Ronald D. Moore and certainly the blessing of everyone involved with TNG, as the book is replete in interviews and material from them. So please turn your hymnal turn your book to page 312. I'm going to be reading extemporaneously from the text. And I just want everyone at home to know that this is an entirely organic show. Clubby and I do not Google anything. We do not previously discuss anything with anyone. And we don't read any material prior. And we do that because we want to share it with you. We want to explore it with you. So this is a very organic experience. Thus, I may make mistakes while I'm reading because, of course, I've never read it before. And so that is quite natural. Sorry, let's do it. An Enterprise away team finds the inhabitants of a science outpost brutally dispatched by a group of Borg still present on the station. Unlike their unemotional brethren, these drones are individualistic and vicious. As the team fends off their attack, Data experiences a surge of rage and kills one of them. The rest of the Borg escape in a vessel that leaps through a strange subspace distortion. Startled by his own behavior, Data takes himself off duty while the crew tracks the Borg. They manage to capture a drone and lock him in the brig, but a short time later, the Borg escapes in an Enterprise shuttlecraft accompanied by Data. Following the shuttle to an unexplored planet, Picard leads the search party for Data. He quickly finds himself surrounded by a horde of Borg commanded by Data's unstable android sibling, quote unquote, Lore. And Data! ! Let's play Guess the Writer. I liked the idea of Descent a lot. It was an opportunity to go very dark with a character. There were overtones to it that I was drawn to. Finding that Lore and the Borg had joined forces was a creepy proposition, And there was something delicious about that scene in the brig with Data talking to the Borg about killing. I liked taking Data to a very dark place. You might think that's the Prince of Darkness, Brannon Braga, talking, or perhaps the psychoanalytical Joe Manofsky. He wishes, anyway. But no, it's Ronald D. Moore, proving that there are many options in a writer's toolbox. But while Moore enjoyed conducting Data's descent into the heart of darkness, he wasn't pleased with the descent action sequences turned out. The phaser fights were so static, he moans. There was just no wow to any of the phaser battles we produced on our show. It was frustrating. I remember sitting in production meetings, arguing, trying to get more energy into those scenes. But the characters would ultimately stand next to bookshelves and lean around them, fire once, and then duck their head back. Then you'd cut to the other side, and the other character was doing pretty much the same thing. We tried to make the scripts as exciting as possible, but then I'd see it get all stripped away for time, for budget, or somebody thought it was too complex. There were 1,000 reasons why the action sequences got cut. The problem was we were shooting on 7-day schedules. Later, when I did Battlestar Galactica, we shot on an 8-day schedule. That was actually pretty standard in the industry. But with 7 days, you had to shoot 10 pages a day, a huge amount of work. And action sequences take much more time to set up and plan for safety reasons, for choreography and camera moves, getting the stunt player ready. We just didn't have the time to devote to realizing an interesting action sequence. But we were always trying, he swears. If you read the scripts, you'd go, oh, that sounds exciting. Well, I didn't realize that Star Trek was a pew, pew, pew show.
Mm-hmm.
Pew, pew. There's another tile, Captain. Shall I read it?
Sure.
Now from the block text on page 313. Over the years, eminent stars of stage, screen, and even the scientific community managed to parlay their interest in Star Trek into cameo appearances on the series. None was more noteworthy than theoretical physicist Dr. Stephen Hawking. Yay, my hero! Who appeared as a holodeck version of himself in the teaser for Descent Part 1. Visiting the Paramount lot in 1993 to help promote Paramount Home Video's upcoming release of the documentary A Brief History of Time, Hawking expressed a desire to see the set for Star Trek: The Next Generation. Studio security contacted TNG's production offices, and executive producers Rick Berman and Michael Piller hustled over to meet the professor on the TNG soundstage. Although he cannot speak or walk due to the debilitating effects of Lou Gehrig's disease, Hawking, a longtime Star Trek fan, took full advantage of his visit. I asked if I could sit in the captain's chair, he said, via his speech synthesis computer in an interview that took place after the tour. It is rather more comfortable and a lot more powerful than my wheelchair. The interview took place in front of the Enterprise's warp core, a component that Hawking was quite taken with. I'm working on that, he noted wryly. Oh my goodness. Stephen Hawking said, I'm working on that. Oh my God, I love him so much. Before he left, Hawking, oh my God, that's such a great little story.
Yeah.
Before he left, Hawking conveyed to the producers that he would like to be on an episode. After checking to see that Hawking's schedule jibed with the show's production and the producers instructed writer Ronald D. Moore to add a scene to the teleplay he was working on for Descent. Moore quickly constructed a holodeck poker match between the greatest minds of Earth history, plus Data, no slouch himself in the IQ department. Appearing in a brief scene with Hawking was, says Brent Spiner, perhaps my favorite moment in the entire experience of doing Star Trek. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm looking ahead here, and Block is doing something that she doesn't normally do. She actually is a separate part for part 2, but there is an additional tile for the end of season 6. Shall I read it?
Sure. If you think it's good to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have very many notes on these episodes,
cool.
so let's read a page of 314 from the block text. In preparation for production of TNG's A Pilot and opening title sequence, model maker Greg Gine or Jen. Okay, Wolfie and JT Kirk. You guys, I think this is going to be about models. And Mark D with a C if you're here. An Industrial Light and Magic crew supervised by Ease Young built the 6-foot actual dimensions were 78 by 59 by 14-inch model of the new Enterprise D from Andrew Probert's design. The model, molded of clear fiberglass, was engineered with ribs rigid enough that it could be hung or mounted at any angle for photography. The spaces between the ribs was filled The spacing between the ribs was filled with expandable foam, adding to the strength but not the weight. Prior to painting the ship, the crew carefully masked numerous areas, such as the windows, leaving them transparent so an extensive array of interior lighting could shine through. Oh, I bet you Scuba Pete likes that. They also built a 2-foot long model, although they did not equip it with lights. 3M reflective strips served as windows. The 6-foot model ultimately proved to be inconveniently large. Technicians at Image G, the motion control photography facility, quickly realized that they couldn't get their cameras far enough away from the ship to accommodate a requisite variety of interesting angles and moves. So Jine duplicated the model on a similar scale. This one 4 feet long in length. It too was fully outfitted with interior lights, although unlike the previous models, it could not be used for a saucer separation sequence. The 4-footer was introduced in the show's 3rd season. Also pictured, inside the book obviously, is a gooseneck model used for detailed close-ups of the Enterprise's battle section when the show portrayed the separation sequence. Although producers had hoped to make such sequences a regular feature of the series, shooting them proved to be time-consuming, and prohibitively expensive, so separation was seldom seen. And there are some very interesting photographs of the models in the block text. And that is all the block text has to say about season 6, at episode 26. So, Captain, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Well, first off, a big shout out. Our chief engineer's here. Okay, there.
Yay!
Shooter 8323. Hello there, and pop culture curator. Hello there. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, my friends. Pretty interesting coverage. The episode, it's not really, I don't know. I don't mind it. First of all, you can never go completely wrong with data. For
No.
a data episode, will almost always be very interesting, and this one's no exception. It is pretty interesting. I think one of the things of the episode that I really liked the most was when Admiral Nechayev or whatever dressed Picard down.
That's in my notes.
You didn't. I mean, what you did, by the way, which is kind of strange. It rings a little hollow because his ass didn't get. They didn't run him in and take him off duty either. But she said, who the hell you think you were not talking to us with what you did with Hugh? The decision you made it. You went way above. You exceeded your authority. All that stuff. That was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that let him do it.
Yeah, and he should have been reprimanded, and we spoke about that at length while it was happening. We were saying, where's Starfleet? Why does he get to decide for trillions of people whether or not they live or die? He literally made a choice for trillions of people without even consulting a single superior officer.
We talked about that back when that episode came on. It was very much, I will always be of the opinion that Picard was wrong in what he did. And should have been drummed out of Starfleet. So it's kind of it was good that they're on his ass about it, but like a year later, I'm sorry, it was kind of
rings hollow.
It rings hollow because you should have dropped his ass right there.
Yep.
She says Admiral bitch ass put his foot on P Hard's colostomy bag.
Can we leave JT Kirk's comment up on the marquee forever? Love it, JT. You
Sorry
okay,
about
boss?
that coughing fit. Thank
That's
you,
okay.
JT. Mark says I agree when the admiral chews out Picard for not destroying the Borg with Hugh. Could he have been court-martial for non-informing? Yeah, he should have been court-martial. But anyway, it didn't happen. So,
Hey,
hey
boss,
there,
Mr. Tickle Trump just walked through the door.
What's up there, Mr. Tickle Trump? Good to see you, my friend.
Hello, sweetheart.
Welcome to the party, pal. All righty. So, anyway, again, so really that kind of stuff, other than the really nice opening scene with, of course, Stephen Hawking, some of the other stuff going wrong with Data, I just felt it was mostly still just kind of a blah time filler of an episode. Again, I like Data in it, but I just don't really, the Savage Borg stuff. I'm just getting always kind of tired of the Borg, to be perfectly honest with you. At this point, I'm tired. I think you kind of wasted Lore here. It'd be nice to see Lore come back in a better story. So as far as part 1 came along, I just thought it was just let's fill up time until our season ends, and it's not a particularly impressive story in any way, really. I didn't get a whole lot out of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what can I say? I totally agree. And it's hysterical how closely your comments always align with my personal notes. And if folks at home are wondering what I'm talking about, I take a piece of paper and a pencil and I write notes and I talk about what I know about the episode after being watching Star Trek for, over 45 years of my life. So I write those notes, but it's always shocking to me when Clobby starts talking, because when the captain starts talking, he often says things that are in my notes. It's like, did you see my notes?
Excuse me. Sorry, I have a coughing fit coming.
It's okay, honey. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Captain. This is a lackluster episode for me.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the stuff with Data is okay, but it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. You have Stephen Hawking. Why wouldn't you do something with Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Isaac Asimov says, I'm going to appear on your show. And you have him play cards?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, the cameo's nice, though. I mean, it's nice.
I know, but like put him in a full scene. And when you hear me complaining about the way that the script was written, I think you're going to see why I just don't like this decision.
Go for it with the notes, then.
Okay, so for part 1, these are the only notes I have. It's pretty short and sweet. Stephen Hawking in yelling all caps, underlined 17 times with an exclamation point. And then Nechayev reprimands Picard, ordering him to behave like a real captain, just like Kirk. P. Hard, Poopy Stew is a sad, sad man. The cliffhanger is based on viewers believing that Data's activated emotion chip means that he turned evil and want to annihilate all of human life and the Federation. So I think this is weird. It's an unexplained leap, and it's done without foreshadowing. And I think that foreshadowing was necessary. So we were intrigued and not annoyed. Anger doesn't equate cruelty or genocidal mania. So we understand that he's angry, but we need some foreshadowing there. We need to explain this because, him just announcing that he would like to, completely annihilate all human life and the Federation is nuts. And I don't think that the folks at home understand it. This is Data saying this, not Lore. So I think it's a very weakly written script. You had Stephen Hawking there. I don't care if the entire first part of the script is around Stephen Hawking, but use him for crying out loud. And the rest of the script sucks. And try foreshadowing.
Keely Chow, roll tide. Good to see you there. Coughing.
It's okay. Don't worry. I can't believe that you do this show even when you're sick. I love you so much.
It's not a biggie. I just, it's just I hadn't had a coughing fit in like hours and hours, and all of a sudden it starts up again. They just linger. You know how it goes. But good. Oh yeah, but yes, it was. What? Oh, did I?
Oh, nothing. I put Mark up on the
goodness.
marquee because after you're done your thought, I just wanted to say something to Mark.
The day that Apple fell on my head. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, no, I just wanted to say to Mark, yeah, I didn't like that opening scene and I didn't like that opening banter because it's actually like it's not true. It's a myth that Einstein wasn't good with mathematics. As a matter of fact, once he sort of started to tackle his learning disability, he was far and away beyond anyone else's understanding, any of his colleagues' understanding of mathematics. So that whole thing with Newton and then the whole thing with Einstein, it didn't impress me. I was actually kind of cheesed because it showed a very superficial understanding of who those men actually were.
And besides, I did the thing about the apple. We all know that what really happened was the fourth Doctor was up in his tree, and he said he really didn't drop an apple on his head. He said, get out of my tree. Then I took him inside and explained everything to him there. Yeah. So, well, that's according to Doctor Who now. Hey, if the fourth Doctor said it, it's true. Anyway, so, yeah, there we go. Stupid calls.
It's okay, babe.
Man, I thought it left me alone. Anyway, so where was we? So yeah, it's pretty much a fairly, it's not bad. I mean, it's just, again, not really what I want to see. I've been saying this like a broken record this season. Going places I really am not particularly wanting to go with my Star Trek.
Yeah.
Some of the data stuff is fine because Brett Spiner's so terrific. But I just didn't really get a whole lot out of it this first part. Or we'll still. We want to go ahead and review the first. We'll give our ratings on the first part, and then we'll get down to business with the second part and knock it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I also want to apologize for making you watch it in a linear fashion. Because I know, of course, you thoroughly enjoyed watching it in a linear fashion when you were watching TOS and TAS.
Oh, that's fine.
Now that we're on TNG, I'm sorry, I love you. I've noticed that there are a few people in our community, too, who are like, oh, I can't believe this is the next one. I'm never watching this one ever again.
It's weird because, like I said, I've said it many times. I was never the big. I watched Next Generation when it first came on for the first 4, 5, 6 years, maybe or so. When it first came on, watched it all the time, recorded it if I was going to miss it, so didn't miss it for a while, and then never went back and watched it that much for years and years, decades, and then maybe 6, 7 years ago, whatever, when it first popped up on Netflix, I went back and started watching something I hadn't seen in a long time. And I didn't really watch. I don't know if I went in order. I maybe did for a little while. Then I skipped around here and there, bits and pieces, picked and choosed, and really, really enjoyed it and got a new respect for it and really, really liked it a hell of a lot more than I did before. And I decided, well, of course, I'm 30-something years older. It's I'm most entertainment's garbage. That helps us for sure. And I became far more well disposed towards it. Hello there, Janet from another planet. Beautiful lady.
Interplanet Janet. She's a galaxy girl.
Yes, indeed. Good to see you there, lovely lady. So I'd gotten back into it. I got a new respect for it, and I became more of a fan of the show than I was before. Mm-hmm. And so and then for the years following, I pop in once in a while. I get in the mood to watch a few of them, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. It is before Patrick Stewart destroyed the character Picard.
Yeah.
But it was never in the class with the original series for me. But now going back, like a few years later, maybe I've tried not to let the Picard show influence me. I really do. And even the horrible things that the actors say in public, I try not to let that influence me. A good episode should be a good episode no matter what. We try. I know some don't believe us here, but that's what we're trying to do. And yet it is very different watching them like in order from the way we're doing it. But it's a tougher task. There's still a fine episode. It's still a fine episode, but I'm finding the show, as I say all the time now, so wildly inconsistent, more than I ever did.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say. Like you make my heart soar and you make me feel like you're such a good friend to me and you truly are such a good friend to me in real life. But yeah, I've been trying to explain this to folks for years. People who mock TOS and say how terrible TOS is and TOS is absolute perfection if you take away that corporate year when the corporation came in and said, "Okay, we're the corporation." And they were like the fourth corporation at that point, and they were going to write season 3. But other than that, it is like perfection. And then of course, I feel very fondly about Enterprise. But you see this whole slew of people
Mm-hmm.
that believe that TNG is like this ultra epic television, and that it's far and away better than TOS, and it's not.
Yeah, I don't
And
agree with him.
so I'm
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible to me that you would entertain my argument and be so that it would be so warmly received, because I do it lovingly. I do it lovingly. Like when there's an episode that I really like, that I really think is really, really good, I say so. But a lot of stuff was going on behind the scenes. A lot of this stuff that didn't work was a betrayal of Gene Roddenberry and to Gene Roddenberry. And your recognition of that just proves to me like what a wonderful friend you are and how intelligent and open-minded and open-hearted you are. And I just love you for it.
Well, back at you, and you're too kind. Hello there, JD Lewis. Good to see you there, buddy. And Rod Thunderheart, buddy. Great
Hey,
pals.
hi guys.
Hello there, my good friends. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
hello.
Katie has made it to the party. Katie Carr, hello there, my dear. Oh my goodness, we're so excited to see you.
Hey, cutie patootie. How's school? How's ballet?
I hope you're doing wonderfully.
Yes, good
Um,
to see you. Good to see
so
you.
let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and give me your rating. You give me your rating of part 1. I'll give mine. Then I will ask our wonderful chat for theirs and any comments they may have. So number 1, what is your rating of Descent Part 1?
I give it a C.
It's amazing. Me too. I mean, it's not bad enough to rag on. I mean, there are things in it okay. I love, again, even though it was a year late, seeing Picard get dressed down for that idiot decision he made in the Iborg episode, whatever it was. Was it Iborg?
Yeah, I think so.
Was pretty weird, but kind of satisfying in some ways. Oh, hey, never be sorry, Katie. Hey, we understand that. We're just always so happy to see you.
Yeah.
It does our heart good to see you.
Let your mom know that we said hello, and it's just
Absolutely.
nice to see you. And I want you to stay focused on school. You've been doing so wonderfully, and you've been recognized for academic excellence. And you need to, keep your nose in the book,
Right.
sweetheart. And don't you worry about us. When you have time to come visit, it's so wonderful to have you here.
Indeed, indeed. And so now I will ask our chat. Please give us your rating and any comments you may have on Descent Part 1. Go. And I guess our buddy Max is busy tonight. We can't bug him every night, but so hail if you're out there somewhere, Max. We hope you're doing well. But we do have something that our chief engineer gave us. So if this is inappropriate, don't worry. We're going to give him his agonizer. So while you're making those reviews, here you go. This is courtesy of Mark D with a C, so blame him.
I watched 3 holodeck programs designed to be humorous, and I made 4 attempts to induce sexual desire by subjecting myself to erotic imagery.
What happened?
Nothing.
I'm curious.
Oh, you rascal, you.
Ah,
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
pretty funny.
No other reviews? Well,
Nope, they're popping up now, boss.
okay.
Don't worry, I'm starring them. They're all in your starred folder.
Okay, cool. There you go. There you go. Here you go. Yeah. What's wrong with you? Oh, dear. All right, we'll get started then with our reviews of Descent Part 1. Let's see here. And they call him Scuba Pete says B-. if it's not a separator thingy. I guess a minus. I wish this episode had moved as fast as the new Borg. Yeah, seriously, seeing Lore and the Borg just feels way overused. I'm with you there. I'm getting tired. I got tired of the Borg around this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Lore, though, because I love Spiner so much, and I don't mind him having an evil twin. It's corny, but it's fine if you do it well. And, Spiner does do a good job as the baddie.
He
So
does.
I kind of like Lore.
Yep.
And you know what? It works as a science fiction concept because he's not just he's not a duplicate. He's
Nope.
not from another dimension. None of these things. He was actually just a prototype, the first.
Yep. And it wasn't a transporter accident.
And it wasn't a transporter accident.
That's the best part.
Exactly. Mega Cropper says B-. Thank you, Mega Cropper. I did not see you pop in there. But it's always good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Angel, the chef, says B-. I liked the opening scene because it was a great pleasure for Dr. Hawkins. Although the story has a lot of plot holes, it left me intrigued with certain aspects of the lore, Borg, and the emotion chip. Indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Angel. Appreciate you. Kal-El, the super one, says A-. This episode did a good job of setting up an intriguing story while also being a worthy follow-up to the events from iBorg. The way that Data seemingly experienced anger while grappling with the ethical and moral implications of exploring the emotion was excellently portrayed by Spiner. And the scene in which the Borg prisoner manipulated Data into helping him escape was also very well done. The episode was very enjoyable overall and served as a good season finale. Thank you so much.
Dun, 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 dun.
The great Kal-El. Our wonderful friend Katie Card. I'm just so pleased to see a review by you, Katie. Katie says, my review is a 7 out of 10. I thought this was a very good episode. Descent, although somewhat playing with the Roddenberry vision, gave the example of why the Federation existed and how they needed to be the... Oh, she got another one? Okay. Is there another one down there?
Oh, let me go see. Here we go. Try that. That
You got
might be
one?
what connects with it.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see.
Try that. I think that connects with it.
All right, we get to it.
Hey, the lovely Cher just walked through the door. Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, Sherry, lovely lady. Good to see you. I hope you were doing well tonight. We always appreciate you popping in. Being overused. In all, I liked how Hugh was utilized because it was a precursor to 7 of 9 and how some people could be redeemed despite being assimilated. Very well made points from our wonderful friend Katie. Absolutely, Katie. Thank you so much for that, my dear. JT Kirk says, C, don't like the Yahtzee flags with Borg symbols.
Yep.
It's on, don't like the Yahtzee flags with Borg symbols. It's on the nose.
Yep.
Starfleet desperately needs to train their crew not to point their phasers at one another with the finger on the trigger.
Love you,
But they're holding it backwards, though? Hang on, JT. You got another one, I think. There we go. Right. Coincidentally, P. Hard just did a near copy of this plot with the Borg and Brent Spiner, just only 100,000 zillion million times worse. Well, it is filth. So,
Yep.
if only Data discovered his emotions with Klutzman and not a Borg.
Yep.
Excuse me. Well said, sir. They said indeed. Okay, let's see who is next. Raymond Feliciano says, "C, can't go wrong with Data, but he could not even save this episode." Thank you,
Well
Raymond.
said, Raymond. Well said, Raymond.
Nirat and Amanda, hello there, Nirat. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I gave it an A. Brent Spiner being evil, the Borg. What more could you want? There you go. Fair question. Sandra Feliciano says, B, Data's exploration of his emotions was much like wanting a child to learn to deal with his emotions, just with a different ability to understand. Laura's jealousy is also childish, but not cute. Fair point. Very, very fair point indeed. Mrs. Dadman says, B, mainly because of Brent Spiner. The rest of the cast just annoys me. How convenient to have tech and a solar physicist or whatever on board when you have to fly into a sun. Well, that was a reference to a fairly recent other episode where they talked about the metaphasic shielding, but that's in part 2. Keely Chow says A-, or maybe that's a separator. I can't. A-, we'll go to A-. I like seeing Data playing poker with some famous scientists, and I like seeing Lore leading an army of rogue Borg drones in the destruction of the Federation. Well, thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Nice.
Roll Tide, sir. Dadman. Oh, wait, Mrs. Dadman had a follow-up that I didn't see. Hang on a second. Oops, a B. Oops. My first review was actually for part 2. Oh, yeah, we're not ready for that yet, so you can put it back up later because if you want to. Just really didn't like part 1 too much analyzing. Did like Data exploring erotica and Picard being dressed down. He deserved it.
I love Mrs. Dadman. Mrs. Dadman always has such great comments.
Dadman Buddy says B, had more action, but I was thrown off by the Diet Borg, insert Dr. Evil parody here, even though they explained the change. Crusher seemed more like a captain than either Pihard or Commander Libido. Wow.
So that's for her. That's for part 2.
That's for part 2.
Yeah.
Sorry for being slow, but review has been submitted. Oh, no, you're good.
You don't have to apologize. We love you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about that, man. Phantom Outsider says, why is it whenever the Sons of Soon get together, it's a party, fun party, but unfortunately, Laura's never happy unless people get killed. Whereas Wesley when Laura needs him. Yes. Laura and Wesley, that's a fun team up because he kills him. He should kill him. So Picard, as a captain, when given the chance to make command decisions, always makes the wrong one. That's so true. The reason the Admiral was so mad is she likely approved Picard's promotion. Why was Troy so excited? Let me find this next one.
It's pretty far down there, but don't worry, it's pinned.
I got it.
Yep, there it is.
When Data told her he'd been watching porn, seems she gets really upset when Decker Unit watches porn. Nothing happens. I don't know.
That's just mean, and I love it.
Well.
Thanks, Phantom.
Steve Mitchum says, D, hated this episode, mostly because Data, even though a synthetic being, was so easy to turn to the dark side. Reminds me too much of people I've known. Good point.
Yeah, and the thing I don't like, Steve, is that later we learn why he was so easily turned to the dark side. But the thing is that the writing, it's so poorly written that they don't give us any foreshadowing. So instead of being intrigued, we're later annoyed because they're trying to tarnish our beloved, however you want to say it, Americans and Canadians, Pinocchio. So I agree with you, Steve Mitchum. I totally agree with you.
Well said, buddy. J.D. Lewis says, C, not wonderful, but not horrible either. When this was new, I loved it. Today, it's obvious the series stuck around 2 seasons too long, and Berman was padding out the syndication package. He was doing that, I'm sure. Yeah. Let's see here. Wolfie says, hey, Wolfie, good to see you, buddy. Rating B. I think it took me a while to get over the fact that these are not the Borg, but a separatist faction. True. The overall pacing of the episode is pretty fun, but not a whole lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, I don't like it for the same reason, and I love that you just said that, Wolfie.
Indeedishness. We get to see phaser rifles. Yeah, I like those. Transwarp conduits should now be the standard for interstellar travel after this. They don't really get wildly adopted by writers until the end of Voyager. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. And now number 1, we have our wonderful friends, both Enigmatic Drop Bear, then our chief, our communications officer, Jill. So if you would be so kind as to do the honors.
Nerds. All three of us are nerds. Okay, so let's dig into the nerd stuff. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear. He's got a 5-parter here, and he's giving this episode a C. He says the most enjoyable part of this episode was finding out what Hawking meant by the perihelion of Mercury will have proceeded in the opposite direction. I have to tell you that is beyond the scope and mandate of my scholarly pursuits. I do love Stephen Hawking, though. 2 of 5. He was referring to the impossible. Oh, of course, you're going to unpack it, enigmatic drop bear. Good job. Love you, love you. He was referring to the impossible scenario required to compensate for the deficiency of Newtonian physics and accounting for the discrepancy in Mercury's orbit. Lovely, lovely.
You rocky, D. I love you.
4 of 5. There was little logic to Data's actions, and his manipulation by Croesus defied belief. He lacked the circuitry to exploit and trigger any sort of emotional act. Yeah, that is a nagging aspect of it. It's a nagging aspect of it. 3 of 5. From there, the episode was a steady descent. Nice wordplay. Descent into the ludicrous. The Borg were reduced from a coterie of menacing, relentless cyborgs to a violent and rowdy bunch of emotional half-wits.
Nice.
Oh, I'm missing people here in the chat. Hold on. I have my eyeballs in 2 places.
While you're doing that, I'll get the other ones if you want.
Hold on. I'm just... There we go. 5 of 5. On the plus side, did I read 4 of 5? On 5 of 5.
You did.
On the plus side, the transwarp conduit was pretty cool. As a final note, keep in mind the Louvetric pulse concept discussed by Picard and Geordi. That has an application in the next episode. You big nerd. I love you.
I think you got them all, yeah.
I hope so.
Well, my memory don't,
Big nerd.
And now for our wonderful friend, Jill.
Another nerd. Hello, gorgeous. I love you. And she's got a 5-parter. She's given this one a B+. She says, this marvelous scene with Data and the other scientists has me wishing we could see more historical figures interacting with the crew on the holodeck. It has proved most illuminating. Why do Borg suddenly appear and then make Data sneer? This is the best cold open and episode winning in a while. The mystery of Data experiencing emotions near the Borg is chilling. As a consequence of releasing Hugh, we have more Borg assigning themselves individuality, and yet they form a collective with lore. You know, Data's betrayal comes from an external influence. Yeah, and wouldn't a little bit of foreshadowing, I think, would have been helpful. Yeah. Oh, AED said parts 3 and 4 were read out of order, but that's okay. Yeah, I noticed after I read it. And sorry, I would just like to say, crap.
Zathras. What's up, buddy?
4 of 5. A long-hanging thread since the Hugh episode is finally acknowledged, with the Admiral chastising Picard for nursing a Borg back to health and not destroying them. Actions have consequences.
Yep, so do inactions.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so do inactions. And 5 of 5. The Borg have invented transwarp conduits, which are like short cuts, letting them travel 20 times faster than the Enterprise, triggered with tachyons. So clearly we have some time travel nonsense. Ooh, I wasn't aware of that. I love you, you big nerd. Bring on your nerdiest nerdness. We love nerding.
Well done, Jill. Well done, Jill. And now our chief engineer, the great Mark D with a C, says, C. Good setup, but the story takes too long to get moving. Although it's another Borg episode following up on Hugh's story, makes sense, and the exploration of Data's emotions was intriguing. Hate the way this episode makes Data out to be a traitor. Does anyone else think Laura's outfit is ridiculous? Yes, it is. Yeah, the way
It's a
this
bit
I
of a
don't,
gimp suit, isn't it? The
the
way
way
that it goes
yeah,
in between his
it
legs and
sucks.
snaps together.
Oh my
So
god, Kim Soup.
it's a little
We
weird.
we find out Data can't get addicted to porn, so it's not all bad, I guess. Yeah, it really. Again, I don't. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Well, we'll go with the second part. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. So, you want to move on to part 2 real quick?
Let's move on to part 2, boss man.
Part 2 of Descent now, folks. Here we go.
Oh, D. Bud Martin says, I have to go lie down. I'll be
All right,
streaming
D-Bud.
this on my television, so I won't be in the chat anymore.
Cool.
Okay, so everyone, I love it when you guys do this. This is so good. Everyone, D. Bud Martin will now be podcasting our show. He will no longer be participating in the chat. So please don't think that he is ignoring you. But if you want to give him a shout out, and you need something from him, let me know. Ooh, and we have a parasite.
I'll get it. If I got it in time there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless somebody else got it before me.
Somebody report that piece of garbage.
Yep. They're back. They were gone for a while. Now they're back.
Yeah.
Be good, D-Bud. Hope you feel better, brother.
Yes, honey. Go lay down.
Ready, go for it. So,
Okay.
part 2, folks.
So this is Descent part 2. So this is the beginning of season 7. And so it's episode 1 for the season 7. And we all watched this for the very first time on September 20th, 1993. Well, most of us did anyway.
Thank you, D-Bud.
Sandra,
Thank you,
you
Sandra.
reported it. I love you. Thank you. And
Thank
D-Bud
you.
said, killed it before I left.
Thank you both.
Go team. Love you guys. Okay, let's stay copyright compliant. So I'm just going to shout it out so that we've got that, virtual in-text citation. I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and of course, receives the blessing of all involved in TNG. Please turn your hymnal to page 315. We're getting something that's very unusual. Paula doesn't do this very often. Not only do we have a separate entry for the part 2 of a 2-parter, but we also have this wonderful introduction that comes before it. So, this is unusual. She doesn't usually have it set up like this. And so enjoy. I'm going to read 2 things then from 2 different pages. We'll start on 315. By season 7, The Next Generation was on everyone's radar, even that of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which at long last recognized the series with a nomination for Outstanding Drama Series. It lost to Picket Fences. Audience interest in the show was at an all-time high, elevated by Paramount's announcement that this would be TNG's final year on television, and that the first TNG movie would bow in November 1994. The move made financial sense for the studio. Escalating costs over the years had rendered this series much less profitable. It was definitely a decision by Paramount, says Rick Berman in a 2006 interview. The afterlife of the first-run television show is to go into strict syndication. And once you have 175 odd episodes, it's considered enough. I had been contacted a year earlier by Sherry Lansing, who ran the motion picture division, and told that they wanted us to do a TNG motion picture. So it was all very clearly designed to end after season 7 and go right into production on the movie. The accelerated pace was hard on everyone involved in the show's production. To accommodate the schedule for the motion picture, shooting for the series was pushed up by a month, meaning everyone got that much less vacation time between seasons. Sometimes Paula's writing is so weird. You know what I mean? Why are you like, Chris, like, what kind of a sentence is that? Anyway, your agonizer, please, Paula. Anyway, many behind-the-scenes personnel were working on both TNG and DS9, and some, like writers Ronald D. Moore and Brandon Braga, were also involved with the new film. At the same time, Paramount trapped Berman, Michael Piller, and recently promoted executive producer Jerry Taylor to create another Star Trek series that would pick up the slack when TNG went off the air. The studio asked us, or maybe told us, would be a better choice of words, to create what eventually became Voyager, Berman remarked. But even with all the stress, it was a period that many of the participants relished. It was a bittersweet time, says LeVar Burton, because we were having such a great time on the television series. None of us really wanted to stop production. The opportunity to do feature films was sexy, but at the same time, we were really at the height of our popularity when we stopped production. The decisions that were made were way above my pay grade. Given the chance, would he have been willing to do another year of TNG, the series? Burton doesn't need a moment to think. We would all have done another year. Absolutely. Please turn to the block text, page 316. Following their capture by Lore and Data, Picard, Troy, and LaForge learn that it was their release of the Borg drone Hugh a year earlier that triggered the evolution of the very twisted Borg group led by Lore. When Hugh returned to the Borg cube, his newly awakened individuality destroyed the hive's sense of shared identity, leading to chaos. Lore's subsequent encounter with the group gave them a much needed sense of united purpose. With the drones doing his bidding, and the android set out to bring Data into the fold by covertly instilling him with negative feelings generated by Dr. Sung's emotion chip. Yeah, but he's not Vulcan. How did it get to him? Anyway, now Picard and the others must find a way to reboot Data's ethics program before Lore launches his plan to end the reign of biological life forms. Things didn't go as planned in this follow-up to season 6's cliffhanger. There were too many balls in the air after part 1, says Renee Echevarria, and I was stuck trying to catch them all. And inevitably, some of the balls were dropped. Part 2 was built off the return of Hugh, Echevarria explains, but Hugh's through line would take a backseat to Data's trip to the dark side, courtesy of his irredeemable brother Lore. Oh, okay, well, I'm starting to agree with Paula here, because that's pretty much what I say in my notes. So it's interesting that she notices this, recognizes it, and calls it out. A subplot about Beverly's moment in the sun, literally as well as figuratively. Yeah, but it wouldn't be the sun. You wouldn't call it sun. You'd call it... Anyway. Also would steal precious time from Hugh's story. Yes. Thus, the little Borg that viewers had fallen in love with in iBorg gets to play only a supporting role here. He doesn't even get a chance to visit with his friend Geordi. And that's because Geordi is once again the victim of an evildoer, Lore, who seeks to hack his neural implant in order to further some nefarious plan. Lore feels Geordi's implants make him an ideal test subject for the android's efforts to turn a human into an artificial life form. Back to season 4, the Romulans used Geordi's implant to turn him into a remote-controlled would-be assassin, the Mind's Eye. And about a year after the events of Descent Part 2, mad scientist Tolian Soran would utilize Geordi's visor to turn the engineer into an unknowing live video transmitter in Star Trek Generations. It's no wonder Geordi eventually replaced his implants and visor with an ocular prosthesis. I don't know what to say about that. I wonder, in this climate of cancel culture, how LeVar Burton and these people get away with doing this where the visor is concerned. Now, normally I give way to Clobby here, but I just want to address this immediately because I'm a little cheesed off. Gene Roddenberry wanted to have somebody who was visually impaired on the show. And, LeVar Burton has been making comments lately in the press where, he's thought he had very expressive eyes, that he hated wearing the visor and so on and so forth. How can you hate Gene Roddenberry's idea to show someone visually impaired on television and show that the hope that one day technology would conquer being visually impaired? I don't understand where these types of morals and ethics come from. These people are shameless. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I know a lot of people who are visually impaired or have reduced vision. And it's very important for people who are visually impaired to have those heroes on television as well. And Gene was doing it sincerely. He was doing it sincerely, not the way that the corporations do it today in an effort to sort of, make you, politically vote on their show. He was actually just trying to show that visually impaired people were just as capable and that technology could one day free us from things that harm us or things that we want to conquer in our lives, including disabilities. So I'm sorry, I don't like to use profanity, but this totally pisses me off. I hate this. And it's a reoccurring thing with the visor. Just leave the visor alone and stop being ridiculous about it. Like, have some shame.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
Captain.
understand. I know how you feel. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the coverage, boss man? And what did you think of the second part of Descent?
Well, interesting coverage. I like. I probably like the second part even a little bit less than the first one. It's okay, but I actually kind of like some. I got to say, some of the stuff with Beverly on the ship was kind of the more interesting bits to me. Believe it or not, just seeing her in command and something that she wasn't used to. I thought some of that was all right. Some kind of just getting to see her. I guess it's because for a change, they weren't putting her into a ridiculous, stupid situation to make her look silly like they always do. She's actually doing something that needed to be done that's important, not out of murder mystery or like remember the couple of weeks back when she was that one where the one with the shields that they reference in this one where she's dealing with something that's not even in her field.
Yeah,
the shields. And of course, we all know Starship Command's not in her field, but in this case, they stretching of course, but found an excuse to give her command, and I thought she did okay in that stuff. I guess I can't find a lot that I really like about the episode. Or in fact, I think I like it less than the first part because it's just a bunch of meandering nonsense that doesn't have much of a conclusion. All the stuff about what is it? I think Mark mentioned Geordi gets tortured again.
Yeah.
How many times is Geordi going to get tortured? By the way, I mean it's not like it's LeVar Burton who deserves it. Kidding.
Yeah. And they're choosing to make the visor a weakness. The visor doesn't have to be a weakness. And the only reason why they're doing that is because LeVar Burton hated wearing the visor.
Right.
But the thing is that you should be proud to be up there representing people with vision loss. Vision loss is a very serious issue that affects a lot of people on our planet. And I just think it's very shameful to be against this idea where Gene Roddenberry specifically said, I want to put a visually impaired person on TV and I want to show people the hope of futurism, the hope that we can use technology to help people who are visually impaired. How could anyone be against that, Captain? Captain, how could anyone
I don't know.
speak out against that and not get canceled?
Because he's an idiot. He has cancel-proof armor, and we know why.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
He
should be ashamed of himself. That's a terrible thing for him to say and to do. Being visually impaired is a serious issue, and he should be very, very proud to represent visually impaired persons.
It's really just a lame nothing of a story, the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you pile them together, it's just filler stuff that's, again, it's not even really particularly good data character stuff. They have far better data character episodes. I mean, it's okay. I just both parts are sort of like they have mass and occupy space, and that's about it. They occupy, in this case, they an old buddy of mine used to have a saying, that's what I'm paraphrasing him. We would go eat at the Ryan's buffet. We like the Ryan's buffet. And people would make fun of you. Like, eat that crap. It's not that good. And he was skinny little. He could eat me and yet eat out me like 20 times. He could go back to the buffet, 30 times. And we said, why do you eat that? He goes, it has mass and it occupies space. That's all, man. I'm like, that's what this does. This episode has mass and it occupies time.
Yeah.
And like we say with a lot of these episodes, it's just we get to see kind of a waste of lore, to be honest with you. Lore has been, could have been a lot better. Again, I don't really, because I couldn't stand Iborg. We went through all that. this being the sequel to Iborg, I'm not happy with that either because I don't like this faction of the Borg. I don't like what they did with Hugh. Picard should have been run out of Starfleet, and this is sort of a follow up to that. So I don't like it much either. I don't really like anything that we're doing here with these 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
We
totally
did.
agree. I
bankrupted
certainly really
Island.
love the comments that are going on with Steve
bankrupted
Mitchum
Bryant's.
and this wonderful new friend of ours. What's his name? Shooter 82 or 8323. Shooter, I've met you before, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. But I love that these guys are screaming their lungs out here and yelling all caps with superfluous exclamation marks, Daredevil. Yeah, and these gentlemen are connecting with what I'm talking about when we're talking about the morals and the ethics
Larry.
of representation. Imagine
Yes.
if Daredevil decided, that he didn't want his character to be blind anymore. It's just absolutely. I can't believe that someone would say that out loud and somebody wouldn't say, shush, that's a terrible, what are you talking about? That what you can do here is so powerful and so beautiful and so wonderful. Why would you speak out against it? It does not make sense. And then wonderful Steve Mitchum follows this up by saying, well, Raquel, actors are narcissistic by nature. So I'm loving these beautiful conversations that are going on in our chat. And I love you all very much. And
Larry, good to see you. And well, he's created Sung first. That was his. I mean, Sung created Lore first. Lore was the prototype, and Data was the correction sign kind of. So that's why he didn't. Yeah, he didn't like not like he created him afterwards or anything. So I don't find the episode particularly compelling at all. I don't find it particularly entertaining at all. I was kind of being flippant about the thing with Beverly being in command of the ship, and at least she did a competent job compared to what they keep doing with her. It's another thing, they don't really know what they do with their characters half the time. And was it really necessary to concoct a reason for her to be commanding the ship? I don't know.
I have some things to say about that.
Good. I want to get your notes then, because again, I want to like Beverly. I want to like seeing her get to do things on the show, and they never seem to know what to do with her. And so, if it would have been a better excuse for her being in command of the ship, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it was. And again, something weird. That dude that was on there with her, I can't remember the character's name. That guy, for some reason, I like him. I want him to be on the show now, and he never came back. And the guy's familiar. I know that actor from somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's actually played. I think he's played several characters on Star Trek, but he doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
I like that. Oh, he does. Okay, because I like that character. Like something about that guy's voice. I know him from something. He probably did a lot of animation voice. I'm guessing in voices. Anyway, go with your notes.
Okay, so for my notes, the thing is that okay, folks, I'm an academic, and so there's a lot of talk in academia about how sloppy writing or a lack of education is pushing people who write scripts, like script writers, not writers, but like just people who work in TV and movies, to overinflate credentials for their characters. And people think that having like 2, 3, 4 PhDs is normal. And so this hyper credentialed character becomes the norm, and it's just not possible. You wouldn't be able to live long enough to have that many PhDs because you just don't have enough time to earn those credentials. So it's a little bit weird for me, and I don't like it, and I talk about it quite a lot. So in my part 2 notes are Beverly and Tate's journey to leadership. That's what this episode should be called, not Descent. It should be called Beverly and Tate's Journey to Leadership. Instead of reconnecting with how Hugh emancipated the Borg, it is needlessly complicating an action script. Data gets emotions, turns genocidal, tortures Geordi. Then we have the idea of lore and the Borg. What happened there? What happened? How did that develop? Then we have this other filament, Hugh and the individuality of the Borg. And then we have this Beverly and Tate can do command and rescue. And so those are my notes. And I just want to launch off of that and just say, that it's ridiculous. And it's not ridiculous because these are women. Okay. I'm an academic and I'm a woman. I'm a decorated academic, award-winning academic. I don't have the money to finish my PhD, doctorate actually, but I do have a refereed SOI, and I have a dissertation I can shoot out of a cannon. So I just don't have the money to finish. So I'm not demeaning women in any way. I'm a woman myself, but it's ridiculous what they make Beverly do. They turn Beverly into Super Beverly. Like we did a count of it last week, and she would literally need about 15 to 16 different PhDs for the things she does each and every week. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't understand why we turned the story in that direction when everyone wanted to know what happened with Hugh. Everyone, and then do you further complicate it as a writer by adding this thing going on with Data and Lore? So now we've got Beverly and Tate, the can-do girls. They can command, they can rescue. Go girls, you go girl. And then we've got Hugh and the individuality of the Borg. We never get to discover how how this tore the Borg apart. We don't even have these sort of like retrospective scenes where Hugh has to relive what it was like to go on and hear all those voices on the Borg cube, and how his basic gospel was spread, and how these this group broke away. We don't get to explore that, and we never find out how Lore gets involved with the Borg
No,
here.
because we're taking too much time doing other stupid stuff.
That's right. And then we've got the Data struggling with emotions and watching porn. We also have him for absolutely no reason turning genocidal and torturing Geordi. And it's never explained. So it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And people, it does not matter if it's a woman or who it is. I don't care how you identify yourself. You cannot have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 PhDs in this show. Like, be realistic. Uhura was a communications engineer. It's obvious that she had her a PhD or doctorate in communications. And she was an astronaut. That's really difficult. It could take an entire lifetime to become a communications engineer. Pretty much your entire adult life. And then she went into astronaut training and wound up being fourth in command of the Enterprise. She was a very important person, a department head. She had work to do. What are they doing with Beth? This dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Stop accepting dumb. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
Oh, I love it. No, I don't blame you. It's really
yeah.
kind of
When do
annoying.
you have Data watching porn with no emotion? Right?
Well, don't we all? So yeah, and there's the thing. It's just that whole part of the plot took time away from further fleshing out what you were doing on the surface. Well, you didn't really need it.
Yeah.
You could have done anything with the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
You really didn't need that, but yeah, it's just I don't know. James Haran played. Okay. In Suspicion, Jabril, that was that guy. Okay, thank you.
It was him, Wolfie. I love you.
Recognize that guy.
So
Hello
Wolfie
there.
proves us correct. I love
Yeah,
you, Wolfie. I love you, Wolfie.
Thank you, Wolfie. Appreciate that,
Wolfie,
buddy. Welcome back.
Wolfie, Wolf. We
Welcome
love you,
back, Michael
Wolfie.
Beacom.
We love you, Wolfie.
So, this, yeah.
Hey, Michael Beacom's here.
He was here earlier, but he's just got back. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, hon.
Welcome back, sir. So, yeah, he played a Jimadar. Okay, that's right. And,
yes, that's where I'm remembering him from. He was that Jemadar. I remember him.
Yes, that voice, dude. I mean, it kills me, man. I know he's that guy. What's his name again? Because that guy's I must have done some animation.
Mm-hmm. James Haran.
James Haran, okay. Sounds really familiar. I think he's done some voices on the Justice League cartoon and some Bruce Timm stuff, but I could be wrong with that voice, man. The guy, he is amazing. The guy's got a perfect voice as a voice actor. Gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, I would like to see more done with that character, but anyway. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get this over with. What is your rating of Descent Part 2? I'll give mine, then I will ask our wonderful audience theirs.
Okay, for splitting the story into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, I give this piece of poop. First of all, I need to ask you to put up the clawbony.
Oh wow, clawbony in it?
I'm gonna clawbony this one. I'm giving it a D-. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And if you're going to involve women in a can-do attitude, don't give women 8,462,302 PhDs, and don't do this with stories. Just don't. We don't need 5 different stories happening in one story. Just stop that. Just stop. D-, boss. And
oh man. Well, I didn't rate it quite that much. I gave it a C-. So now our wonderful chat, please give us your rating of Descent Part 2 and any comments you may have. Go. The word
is given. But do you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
And the thing is Nichelle Nichols wound up like recruiting for NASA. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean? Like, and they basically do it with Beverly, Riker, Data, and Picard, and it's so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous, and it takes away from people who have worked for their credentials, worked their entire lives to become to hone their skill, to edify themselves, to take that academic journey. So it's ridiculous.
Redonkulous. Okay. Let's see how we're doing here, folks. How we're doing. Getting some piled up. We're getting some piled up.
They're coming in.
Wow. Well, not a good start to season 7, folks. Woo! Look at these reviews. You guys are worse than me. Clabonian.
Wolfie just said, holy crap, James Horn's video game credits are, chat just jumped, are about a mile long. He also did do work in it just disappeared, in the 2003 Spider-Man animated series. So yeah, Wolfie, I love you. Thank you for digging that up.
Thank you, Wolfie.
I love research. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are the best, and gals.
Okie dokie. While you're doing that, we will start. Steve Mitchum says, I refuse to review this refuse.
Refuse. Yeah. That's so funny.
Zathras says, D-. Boring episode. Best part of episode is Louisville, Kentucky's own James Horan as that's where he's from? As Lieutenant Barnaby. Best facial expressions in history of TV. Give him an Emmy. Zathras has spoken. Nice. James Horan. That's not the guy that plays Zathras, is it?
No.
I don't know how Zathras knows him. Zathras, please elaborate.
Busman, the Thing just walks through the door. Everyone,
hey,
the Thing's here.
The Thing, the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. Thing, ring, do your thing. Can't believe I said that. Good to see you, Thingy. JT Kirk says, D, for Captain Dr. Crusher. Crusher as Captain would have been a great show in place of Voyager.
Yeah.
Part 2 should have leveraged Hawking to save the day with a solution relying on science and cunning.
Yeah, preach, baby, preach. Right there. That is gospel right there. Love it.
Indeed, it's just Raymond says, D, Raquel said it all. Q, Claboni, just for you, Raymond.
And he did request the following. I agree, Raymond.
There is your Claboni, sir. Enjoy it. Mr. Tickletrunk says, D, when I was a youngin', I thought expose myself to porn imagery Okay, I must make sure there. Met Data had his pants down and was flashing the screen while wearing an emotionless face. No longer at a C for me, a D. So yeah, I guess he means when he's young. That's what he thought Data meant. Gotcha. Phantom Outsider says, "See, I've always thought that since by Tang T,
sorry, yeah.
I don't. Okay, that's good. That'll work." Kal-El says, A. Part 2 did something that the sequel in a nameless sci-fi movie trilogy failed to do. Pay off the story elements set up in Part 1. In addition, this episode did an excellent... Hang on. Gotta get to the next one. Job in showing the effectiveness of a charismatic leader manipulating a vulnerable population as a result of fear and chaos having run rampant. Data, without his ethical subroutines enabled, is downright scary. Pro tip, remember to update your Android. I really liked how the metaphasic shields, which were introduced in an earlier episode, was actually remembered and used. Yes, indeed they were. Indeed they were. Effectively here. The manipulative abilities that Lore possessed showed no bounds, and yet I found myself wanting to believe that Lore was telling Data the truth when he said, "I love you, brother," before being deactivated. Part 2 did a wonderful job of concluding the story as well as kick off the 7th and final season. Thank you so much to the great Super One himself, Kal-El. Appreciate you, buddy. And I apologize to you while reading that with the Clawbony on there. I did not mean to do it. I was just, because even though that was not the case with Raymond, I know you liked it. So I did not do that on purpose. I apologize. And so everyone, I really do. I'm mad at myself for that. I just didn't even think about it. So I just left that's only for people who don't like it. If they want it up there, that's fine. So sorry about that, Kel. I did not mean that, buddy. And I hope you will forgive me for that, sir. It was not intentional because, I don't dislike the episode as much as everyone else does, apparently, but I didn't like it much either. But you did a splendid review, sir. Thank you so much. Let's see. Mr. Angel says, "C, the plot holes of the first episode thicken. QED, but overall, I enjoyed the two-parter." Thank you so much, Chef. Appreciate you. Mrs. Dadman Walking says, "Originally B, but after listening to comments, changed to C minus. My oldest going for PhD will take her 5 years. Let's not belittle the work."
Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean. It's just so ridiculous. And yeah, they make it seem like it's nothing. And if we start talking like that, what ends up happening is people don't put any value on that education and that hard work. And if you're putting in 4 years in undergrad, then you're doing 2 to 4 in grad school, then you're doing 4 to 6 in your PhD or your dissertation. Yeah. And then somebody comes along and basically seems like it makes it seem like you can do that 15 or 20 times in your life. It's like, well, no, actually you can't. And send my love to Ange.
Sandra Feliciano says, "C, excuse me, disappointing. A story with Data, Lore, and the Borg should have more substance. It could have been a deep story exploring the discovering of humanity by the Borg and the natures of Data and Lore." That is a very well made point, Sandra. It should have had a lot more to it. I absolutely agree with you there. Michael Beacom has no score. Can't remember much about these episodes. All I can say about Lore is reminds me of the scene in Firefly where the bad guy is pledging to hunt Mal down, so he kicks him into the engine. That was funny. Why is Lore left to keep coming back and menacing humanity again and again? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's almost like they've read too many comic books. And by the way, I've read too many comic books, but I wasn't writing that show. That's what I'm saying. Really, a recurring supervillain in Star Trek can work once or twice, like Khan and stuff, where you don't expect them to come back, but you get in queue because you can't do anything about him. But yeah, I'm with you. They should disassemble his robot ass. Phantom Outsider said, well, this was the last time we saw Lore, so maybe they did. I always felt in ST in Stung time, they just keep talking classes as they make no, I guess you mentioned Star Trek's time, they make no money and seek to improve themselves continuously. They all should have studied and degrees in multiple disciplines. Hang on a second. Not hard to believe they can take academy extension classes. What else should these no money having people be doing? This is actually the only time tech in a previous episode is remembered and used. Mm-hmm. One of the few anyway.
The metaphasic shielding.
Metaphasic shield. I was actually, because I remember when we were reviewing that one with the metaphasic shields a couple of weeks ago, like, don't they mention that later? I just didn't realize it would be that close. Mm-hmm. The Data-Lore relationship has always been Lore using his emotional awareness against Data, who is without that awareness. I think the I love you was a final dig at Data by Lore. Mm-hmm. That could well be, sir. It could well be. Amanda Bear.
Sathris says, Raquel is a doctor in my book. Dr. Raquel, PhD in crap.
Sathras. Amanda Bear says, hey, so maybe the writing wasn't so great, but what can you expect from these rapscallions? I don't know. I don't know what we can expect anymore, my friend. Steve Mitchum says, maybe they've extended life to 200 years so that people have the time to earn all of these PhDs. Yeah, I guess there you go. I guess it does take time. Wendy Webb, the wonderful Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior, says, D, this is the point in which TNG lost me. Although I've always enjoyed Data episodes, Beverly is op young to be the overachiever she is depicted to be. Okay, I got you, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's too young, and certainly captaining a ship would take a great deal of knowledge on her part. Imagine what it would be like to run a ship. And to understand, the warp core, to understand piloting, to understand shielding, to all these things, including the fact that she's, this exobiologist, a gynecologist, geneticist,
she's just everything. Yeah,
she's everything, and she teaches dance and has all of the upper echelons doing advanced plays together. And I mean, is there anything she can't do? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mega Cropper says, see, thank you, Mega Cropper. Dadman says, B, liked Crusher because it was great to see decisiveness on the bridge. I got there eventually. Man, I'm sorry. Agree, it's bad to have too many stories in one episode. Time to get ready for after party. Going to get unicorn rainbow ice cream.
I think
for everyone, I hope.
I think your reading is excellent. I get tripped up when I have to read all of these as well. It's very difficult to read them, especially when they're all in all of these different voices and different writing styles. But Captain, I must interrupt, and I do beg for your apology. Our chef, he has to depart for the evening. He says, I cannot keep my eyes open any longer. It's almost 6 a.m. here. So I'm going to slide into Morpheus's arms. Have a good weekend, all. Everyone, please say goodnight to Chef.
Good night, Chef.
We love you very much. Chef. Just get well, be well, take care of yourself, get some rest. Thank you for being here. We love you.
Mr. Angel, aka the Chef, thank you so much for being here and all you do, and with the Discord and all that good stuff. We really appreciate you here. We wish you the best. We hope you get well soon. And a big shout out and big love to all those wonderful folks around at the hospital taking care of you. All of you have a wonderful day. And they call him Scuba Peach says C-. The good doctor commanding the ship is the best part. Otherwise, this episode's named Descent into number 2 is accurate. Wow. See, man, that's brutal. All right, let's see here. Hang on. Wolfie says, rating C. Wow, nothing like body horror to start off your last season. I'm gonna drill freaking holes in your head and kill your brains. Me, in an unconcerned Gene Wilder Wonka voice. Stop, don't. Good reference. Yeah, the radiation shields getting reused is okay, but you can just load that up without doing the engineering. I guess so. And when they need to get your chemo ready, slick solar kill trick used again later in DS9 by Kern. That's right. Yeah, good part. Good part. But how about that weird rogue Borg ship? I used to hate it. But the restoration really shows how crazy detailed it is with several layers, allowing light to show through creatively. Interesting.
Engineering nerd.
Indeed, indeed. Larry says department heads probably are qualified to command a starship if needed.
Yeah, Larry, when you think back to TMP, think of how Kirk was even out of his element when he didn't realize that the intermix would cause an anomaly. So each individual ship requires, I don't know, maybe 50 different types of areas of specialization in these extraordinarily advanced sciences. So yeah, it's pretty insulting. And I just absolutely love your comment, Larry, because yeah, that's captaining a ship, especially this advanced with this much technology, would not fall into the hands of the ship's doctor. That's ridiculous.
Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior, says, I'm the nursing director of trauma services at a level 1 trauma center. At 52, I feel too young to do my job sometimes. Well, you're a youngster. Yeah. I'm the oldest one around here. Well, actually, I know someone else who's older, but I'm not going to say that because I don't want to embarrass him.
Love that comment,
Love
Wendy
it, though.
Webb.
Well said, Wendy.
It's true.
And now, number 1, we have our wonderful friend, Enigmatic Drop Bear, if you would be so kind.
Oh, I'm excited. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, it's a 6-parter. It's an Esh pick. Dun, 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 dun.
You can highlight those at will while I go highlight anything else that pops in. How about that? Would that work for you?
Let me go see.
Because you can go to the live and highlight them yourself if you want.
I can totally do. I'll do it on Starred. Okay, Enigmatic
Drop
Bear.
Yeah, I mean Starred.
6-parter. He's given this a D. He says, in addition to its many flaws, there were too many threads to resolve, so we ended up with an excessive number of conveniences and contrivances that resulted in a wholly unsatisfying story. Totally agree. A graduate who just happened to know how to convert a sun into a weapon? Exactly. Metaphasic shielding in experimental phase that just happened to work for the Enterprise? Exactly. Hugh just happened to be in the dungeon leading a breakaway faction, apparently left rogue and unchallenged by lore. We even had the cliched, the prisoner is sick, he needs help routine. Oh my goodness, I love you, Edie. Using methods and means to exploit non-existent circuitry, Data was deconstructed into something that bore little resemblance to the character we have grown to respect and love. Yes, and it was needless. I can't even imagine how Jill's going to react, Edie, because she loves him as much as the rest of us did in the 90s. He was our Pinocchio, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then 5 of 6. In part 1, Geordi said a phaser could be modified to discharge a Luvetric pulse that would destroy Data's positronic net. Oh, I remember that. Presumably, this would work on lore as well. Story over. Ooh, Enigmatic Dropper, you would make such a good editor. You are so good at picking out all the little flaws, and authors really need that. Authors need that help. Authors need that support. And 6 of 6, Edie says, and finally, what happened to the shuttlecraft that Picard deployed for reconnaissance? Oh my gosh. Yeah, what did happen? I love
Didn't
you. I
explain
love
anything.
you. Okay, Edie, you got to get up out of your chair right now. Take a bow. I doff my cap to you, sir, and I'm clapping for you because that was an excellent, excellent, excellent review, and I just love it. And thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
And now we'll move right on to anti-derivative Jill, Captain.
Yes.
Okay, let's
Absolutely.
do it. Anti-derivative Jill, she's got a 5-parter. She's giving this one a C-. She says Laura's experiments in turning organic brains into positronic ones is wildly outrageous. This type of insanity is meant to remind you of Yahtzee scientists who experimented and killed patients. What a beautiful and wonderful thing to say. I love, love, love you. 2 of 5, she says, I like how Tate is doing her best to control her emotions. She does a fantastic job showing her competence, but also showing how her inexperience betrays her, and yet she keeps her resolve. Yeah, when you get thrust into a position where it challenges all of the things you know, you can sometimes have imposter syndrome. So I totally agree, Jill. 3 of 5, I gave part 1 the benefit of the doubt regarding Data's evil moves, but merely the removal of Data's ethical programs and add some emotion is not good enough for me, and it's rather insulting. I knew you were going to say that, and I totally agree. I felt the same way. They just allow the Borg to hang around and stay on the planet, and no one does anything about it, especially after the Admiral ordered another opportunity to destroy the Borg not being ignored.
Yeah.
And 5 of 5. How metaphasic shielding works is a mystery, but that's season 6. Beverly and her lower decks crew had great teamwork, and I wouldn't mind seeing Barnaby and Tate working together again sometime. Oh, like returning as bridge crew? I totally agree.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really great. So, Jill, stand up and take a bow, beautiful, my wonderful nerdy friend. That was an excellent, excellent review. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. And now our I think possibly our final review of the evening from our great chief engineer. It is, of course, the great Mark D with a C. Says C-. I really liked this episode when it first aired, but it hasn't aged well. Maybe I was just too excited to see the Borg again. The most interesting subplot with Hugh and the Borg learning to cope with their newfound individuality was given a short shrift to show more of the mustache-twirling villain lore. Very good point.
Yeah.
Crusher gets to use metaphysic shielding. Geordi is again disparaged and tortured. Surprised Geordi did not let Data destroy the emotion chip, which had proved so dangerous as Data admits.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of lost potential. They could have better explored the human condition. P.S. Be careful when Lore pulls on his finger.
That's a really bad old uncle joke, you know? Hysterical.
Indeed. Oh, my goodness.
So I just want to say those were some really outstanding reviews, everyone. And thank you so much for putting the effort in to create such a beautiful conversation, an intelligent conversation, and such wonderful feedback and insight and just facts about the episode. Really, really enjoyed it. I love you all. Great job, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to do now is, since we have no more episodes to review for the night, we're going to move to the party. Party meeting. We're going to hang out a little bit. We're going to have a couple of friends pop in, a couple of our crew members, and we're going to sort of give our best and worst of season 6, and then our overall view of season 6.
Can you do the music for me? Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, the good, and bad, and the ugly of season 6. Anyway, hey, Pop Culture Republic. Good to see you pop in.
Pop.
And everyone, what I'll do is I will ask everyone. We'll do it throughout the course of the night. We'll, Mark, you have a link. Jill, I'm going to send you a link. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it or not, but you can. You're part of the crew, so if, like I say, no pressure. If you can make it, great. Let's see here.
Oh, Clubby and
Yes.
Raquel, Sandra and I had a long, exhausting day, and we are fading. Good night,
That's
all.
okay.
Everyone, please say goodnight to the most romantic wrenches on the internet, Mr. and Mrs. Feliciano. Thank you so much for your wonderful comments tonight. I always enjoy what you two have to say. You guys are just the best. And please follow King Dolphin TV.
Yeah.
I know that's a sucky impression of a dolphin, but Raymond likes it, so I do it. So my love to the Felicianos. Have a wonderful evening. Follow King Dolphin TV.
Absolutely. And like I say, Mark D, you have a link. Let's see. And Jill, as soon as I can find you, I will send you one. I gotta find your if you can make it. Like I said, no pressure. Oh, there we go. There's Jill's thing right there.
Larry, I love you. You're a sweetheart.
Oh, and Brandon, the anime guy. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Good to see you. Brandon, you have arrived at the portion of the end of season 6.
Yes. And good to see you, Brandon. I hope you're doing well, bud. Jill, you have a link. And Mark has a link. He has 2 links. And by the way, I always forget about this segment. What we're going to do, you don't have to do it. You can put your top 3 and your 3 best and 3 worst episodes if you would like. If you have them in mind, you don't have to write them down. Yeah, I'll ask for them. Don't get me wrong. But what we will do now, as soon as our crew members arrive, we're going to ask for an overall. Hello there, communications specialist. What's up, Jill?
Hey, sweetness.
Good to see you.
Oh,
You there?
These notes are just, these are some set notes.
I see Jill, but I don't know if she's hearing us.
Oh, she just might be tucking the kids away before she,
Mark?
give her a minute to get
Hello.
situated.
Thanks for having me on. It's party
Yo, bro.
part of the show, right?
Yeah. Well, hey,
Thank
Jill,
you.
you there? Good.
Yeah, hello. It's
Good,
always
good.
so great to be here at the end of each
Aw.
season.
Oh, yes. I think it's going to be our traditional thing. Let's we've earned a little bit of fun after all this serious reviewing we're doing.
Why so serious?
Let's see, Brandon. What's that, Brandon? Let's see, says, I am well, but struggling thinking about watching season 7. Oh, boy. Is that
Yeah.
I hear you, brother.
Well, see,
Yeah, well, we'll
7
see. Who
was
knows?
that bad? So-
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
So
been a long
long.
time. Might be
I've
great.
so
only
long.
ever watched it casually, but now that I'm going to be critiquing it, I even just
Yeah.
watching it casually, I knew there was some really bad episodes.
Well, we shall see. I'm going to go into it with as open a mind as possible.
But Worf and
Yeah.
Troy,
Oh God, yeah. There. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
Jill.
that's right. Yeah, I
God.
forgot that part.
Mark D with a C. To be honest, says the Enigmatic Dropper. I struggled to wrestle the holes in this into 6 parts. Oh, I left a heap of others on the cutting room floor. Yet my brain overloaded 5 minutes of the ST09. So I don't think I'd cope with STD. Exactly. ST09's bad enough. Yeah. Yep. So we're not going to talk about filth here tonight, folks.
No.
Good, nice try, Mark.
ED
D.
picked out all those great, plot holes, and
Nice.
that's really observant. Nice
Trying
try.
to
love it.
talk about
I'm just giving him preventative medicine. I just want to protect them. Yep. Always want to be protected from STDs.
God.
STD. Yes.
It should be. Let's see here. So I guess we'll go ahead with the season first. How about that? Does anyone have a rating for the season? I'll ask one from everyone else, and then we'll go ahead and we'll have fun, like best and worst stuff.
Okay.
So number 1, do you have an overall rating for Star Trek: The Next Generation season 6?
Okay, well, I'm going to admit now, that normally when I'm grading my students, I look at all of their grades over the semester and I add them all up and I divide them, and I get an accurate, a painfully accurate grade for what has transpired, fair grade. And this one, I have not done that, but I will tell you this. I only have 3 that received A's. And so out of 26 episodes, that's really bad. I'm just going to go ahead now and give season 6 a C minus.
You put more thought into it than I did. I also I was going to just give it a C, but then I started thinking how many crappy ones there were.
Yeah.
And then I started to give it a D, but I'm going to say there are a couple of ones that have elevated slightly above that. So as a whole, I'm going C minus. Jill, our communications. I mean, again, no pressure if you hadn't thought about it, because you don't have to put a lot of thought into it. But if you have one for us, go for it. And then I'll ask the chat.
Well, yes,
after I get Mark.
I was a little bit more generous with this season. I did give it a B minus, but
Okay,
largely
fair enough.
there. But I think my problem there was that I skipped watching 2 of the worst episodes that had Troy in it.
I wonder how that happened.
That's not fair. We had to sit through them. Now you have to sit through them.
She is a mastermind, folks. She is a mastermind.
Brilliant, by the way.
No,
Yes.
I ran out of time, so those were the ones that had to get cut. And so the dishonorable mentions, Man of the People and Aquiel, I just didn't watch.
Oh, lucky you. We're going to talk about the bad ones in a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't put them in my bottom 3 just because I didn't watch them. So they probably deserve it, but they're not there.
Oh, well, yes, they'll be probably. I can see it being mentioned.
But I kind of like that I did that because there are so many just mediocre episodes that rather than extremely terrible ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what really hurts. It's average bad. No, you're right. Mark D.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Probably, I'd give it maybe a B minus. I'm, totally up my scores, but C plus, B minus. But it's wildly inconsistent to steal that line from you. So, you've got Relics, which is like an
it's
A
just
plus
barely
plus.
squeaks. And
right?
That's from teachers that are being really nice.
Yeah, and then you got Aquiel, which is like a 0, and it's just all over the place. I think part of it too, when I first watched it, when it came out, the series started very, very weakly, which we all agree, and then you grow to love some of the characters like Worf you really like, and Data and Geordi. But I think you kind of give, when it was first out week to week, you're giving some of the shows a pass. That's what I said in one of my reviews too tonight was, you just you love the characters at some point, and you're like, oh, this is good, and you don't really give it the bag drop bear critique, which you should do, and you kind of just gloss over some things and say, that's just, I just like the characters. So there's some real misses here, and I'm surprised at how many there are, because normally I just rewatch TOS and I'll pick and choose some TNG episodes to rewatch, but never done it linear like this. So as Raquel said tonight,
sorry.
So no, but it's good to watch it that way too.
I only ever once watched it linearly, and that was my first watch through of everything. After that, it was randomizer.
Yeah,
and I wonder if I missed a few episodes too, which is interesting. Like some of them I just don't remember at all, which is scary. Or could I possibly, miss them? And like Descent, like you were talking about tonight, it was just oh wow, the Borg are coming back. That's going to be awesome. And then really, it falls really flat, in the end. So it's kind of disappointing too. So I'm trying to remember now. What did I think?
Right. The Borg come back, but they're nothing like the Borg. But we never find out why they're nothing like the Borg.
Yeah, and it's too unresolved, and it's not really good. And you've got some, So I'm guessing, yeah. I like Realm of Fear. I guess Relics. And,
we could talk about ones we like. We don't do
later.
We're rating the season now, man.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying in general, like those are the only
down
two
boy,
that I really
down
like.
boy, heel, down boy.
But then
down
the
boy.
rest, it's like, yeah, man, it's all right,
One more thing generally is that I wanted to say was that I noticed that the science has gotten a little more fantasy this season.
Well, sure. 2-part episodes can be as ranked as stories. Sure, rank them as stories all you want. Yeah, absolutely. And Mark, I was just kidding. I'm saying, I do want to save this discussion of
no, that's it. Yeah. But it's no, I agree.
Ruin
it's
everything.
Engineers love to change things. They want to change things. Yeah, change the format.
Engineers, they love to change things.
So what was your rating?
I'm gonna go with like a B-, but I'm adding up my numbers right now. I'm calculating, but I think it's gonna be
that's way too much thought going into it. He really is an engineer.
Oh, I love giving thought. I love overdoing things.
Listen, everyone at home,
mathematicians and engineers. Jesus,
he has an Excel document.
Otherwise,
I do.
Figure it out.
He does. You think you all think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. He has a spreadsheet.
You all should out there. Look what I have to deal with. Here I am, a dumbass that didn't make it out of kindergarten, hanging out with academic professors, mathematicians, and freaking engineers. And here I am. Yeah. Like the IQ of a carrot compared to these people. It's embarrassing and it's not fair. Damn it. Woo. Anyway.
Boss, I'm sure you would love to head up Brandon with the reviews, and I know that's why you're pausing. But before we start getting into asking what the folks at home, what the folks in the community would like to give season 6, I need to let everyone know that JD Lewis, he's done. He's tired. JD. He's pooped.
Take care, JD.
He's leaving. Please, everyone. JD says bedtime now. Good night, my friends. Buddy. We'll see you on Monday. So everybody, please say good night to the wonderful JD Lewis.
Well, good night, buddy. Thank you so much. And Brandon, the anime guy, thank you, my friend, for this generous $10 super chat. Sir, he says season 6 grade, and we're gonna get everyone's grade. Don't worry, but grade C. It is on a downward slope. The grade is fewer, and the airlock toss increased. DS9 can't come soon enough. I know DS9 pretty well, inside out. Besides 2S, it is my favorite Star Trek. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate it, bud. And yes, we're all looking forward to getting on to Deep Space Nine.
What was it? The higher, the fewer.
The what-y?
Nothing. It was from Loxana Troy episode with the mud bath.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Man, I don't know. Wendy Webb, trauma warrior extraordinaire, says, gives $5. Thank you so much, Wendy. You're too kind. Jimmy and I wish we found your channel earlier. We love it. Keep up the good work. Oh, my goodness. You're too kind to say that. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you here whenever you can possibly make it, Wendy. That does our heart good, both of you. And hail to Jimmy out there. Fantastic. Fellow Trekkers, we love you there.
Okay, Thank you. I can't get over the names because these two sound like they deserve their own comic. Folks, Wendy and Jimmy Webb. These people sound like superheroes. Like they need their own comic. Yeah. I want a comic for the Webbs.
They might have one. You never know. And I love Zathras. So Zathras, every time he's going to get this one out there. Every time he's going to do it. Don't you love it? Babylon 5 is better than DS9, and it's crap. It's better. Zathras like Babylon 5 better, but Zathras is on Babylon 5, so he might be a bit prejudiced, but still, crap.
It's going to drive us nuts all through DS9, boss. You realize
he's
that, right?
Be doing it. Oh, I hope he's here every night trolling it.
Yeah.
But I love Babylon 5, dude. I just, hey. But, what was that? Katie says, DS9 was so good, it warms my heart that it's a favorite. That it's a favorite of my mother, and I introduced her to it. Oh, cool. Your mom likes DS9? Well, there you go. I like it too.
Zathras is getting some pushback from Brandon and Shooter just says sacrilege.
Sacrilege. Oh, it's a fight. Brandon says, hey, I recommend it. B5. Now, it like a lot of shows could break your heart in some ways, but I do love it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Maybe Clobber Times could write us into a comic.
Yeah.
Trauma Warriors Saving Superheroes.
Yeah.
It means learning how to write something because I don't know my alphabet or my ABCs. And
He's
I
kidding.
don't know this, and I only write things in crayon, but
he's lying.
I can't write. I can't sign my name, and which is true. A lot of people don't believe that.
Well, most people can't sign their name these days. You just see the kids. Like kids' signatures. My God, you give them a pen. They're like, you have to sign your passport. Like, wait, how do I sign this? I'm like, you use an X. You don't have to make an X.
For example, if I try to write the words Raymond Luxury Yacht, it comes out Throat Wobbler Mangrove every time. But that's only because it's a stupid Monty Python joke that I'm making up.
Anyway. Just made me spit my tea onto my microphone.
You don't remember that from Monty Python? No. It's spelled Raymond Luxury Yacht, but it's pronounced throat wobbler mangrove. So, anyway, all right. So all right then. Let's see here. Katie says, never seen B5, Battlestar, or X-Files playing on. Well, you got a lot of fun stuff to watch there. That's not a bad thing there. Katie, you got stuff to look forward to. There you go.
Fresh eyes.
I think you might like some of them. Who knows? I mean, Trek's, we all love Trek the most here because we're Trekkers, but we love other stuff too. Yes, I want some too, Jill. Bring me some tea. I want some sweet tea. I really do want some sweet tea. Anyway, okay, so where's we? Oh, how about now, everyone in the chat, please give us your rating. You don't have to write much, not a review so much. You can write a little bit. Just try to do it in one chat if you can. Your overall rating of season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Steve Mitchum's battery is dying. So, folks in the chat, he's not being rude. He loves you all, but he's got to plug in. And, if he can get back to us in time, he can. But if he can't, he's saying his farewells now. So,
Good
just
night,
so
Steve
you know.
Mitchum. Hope to catch you Sunday night.
Indeed, it's just, what's that? Oh, you're getting them already?
Sunday Night Geekery. Yeah, well, it's already tomorrow, right? Yep, where I am.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, yes. Any more reviews? Anyone got anything to say about season 6?
Well, let's make it clear. I'm just going to say the word has been given by the captain. Please go ahead and release the Kraken. Give us your review of the entire season and any feedback you might have.
Hey, Grifter.
Hello.
Hail to you. Good to see you, Grift. I like that name. Are you you've got you're a Grifter from the Image character because you got the mask from. I was about to ask that, and then I just looked closer. Yes, that's the mask of Grifter, the Image character, of course. So you are a comics guy. Good.
Oh, Mr. Parrish is here.
Minimus is here.
Minimus. I don't
Prime.
love anybody but Steve, he says. So I'm just ignoring you all.
How do you like the way he's been torturing you with all those books and stuff?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. Like I thought Mark was bad with the enabling, but
yeah,
Claude is terrible.
Mean.
The guy's house is a library.
Yes, it is.
Amazing stuff, yeah.
Yep. Larry.
That's that's a Monty Python reference.
It is.
Good. We like those. I love those. I love Monty Python. So
only 3 folks? We only have 3.
Okay. So this
people.
Is only Edie, nobody wants to review season 1. I mean 6.
They might be trying to figure out what they would like to put in there.
You don't have to write anything much. You can just put do like Mega Cropper, just put your rating. I mean,
you don't have to do a spreadsheet like me.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, just don't. Oh, they're coming in now. Michael Beacom, Wolfie. Yep, all the usual suspects. Kal-El. Thank you, folks. Love you.
Pop Culture Republic, no review. I got you. You can just say it sucks, and that's fine.
I like Larry. I like Larry.
That would do as a review.
Larry's is pretty funny.
Yes. Gives it a thumbs up.
Don't forget to put that one on the marquee.
No, right now we got a few of them here. Because after this, we'll get into talking good and bad.
Yes.
We'll take too long
right after that, we get into the.
You just wanted to do that again. Yeah. JJ Kirk says a 4.5 out of 7 Dyson Spheres. Season's got a faulty transphasic shield, which is insufficient to protect the season from episodes with talk and you talk. Moving from topic to topic under 4 lights.
Oh my God.
Nice, JJ.
What a clever review. I love that.
Moving from topic to topic, never breaking sentence. Yeah, that was quite hypnotic. Makes me want to watch Pogo. You ever seen that Pogo video? I wish I could show that. I mean, if he can make that, I don't know why I can't check it or not, though. You ever seen that? It's that song. It's mesmerizing. It's a song using lines from The Next Generation. It's called. You could just go. Everyone, just go on YouTube and search "Data in Picard Pogo," and you'll see it. It's fantastic. Season 6, says Michael. If I were giving it an employee review, I'd say quality of work was very inconsistent.
That's a fair comment.
And with no excuse in light of 5 previous seasons. Exactly. You got
Agreed.
5 under your belt. What's wrong?
True.
Larry. No. Hello, Larry. I fought in the direction of season 6, you pigs.
I love Larry.
Oh, all right. Oh, that one. Kal-El says, B-. The quality of the episodes were all over the place, but when a bad episode aired, it was really bad. Still, the good episodes saved the season from getting a lower rating. Thank you so much, Super Kal-El. Appreciate you, brother. Wolfie says, 1 of 1. C+. Defiantly a downgrade. Definitely. I think I meant definitely.
Yeah, I think
definitely a downgrade from season 4, but not horrible, I guess. Some memorable moments, lots of head scratching.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes.
But scratching so much so you look like Picard after the end of the season. Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior Extraordinaire, says C. Overall, 6 is when TNG lost me.
Yep.
I can't name any certain episode. It just became exhausting.
What a
I
great
understand.
comment.
I think that's about when I tapped out back in the original run as well.
Yep. That's a great comment.
Where it was. I stopped watching from week to week. Didn't set the recorder into VCR anymore. I was just kind of whatever.
Yep. Great comment.
Amanda Bear says, I give it a C. Not a very memorable season for me, with a few exceptions. Some of the episodes were worse than Lower Decks. Oh, that's right. You're a fan of that thing. Maybe even P-Hard level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, since I haven't seen it. No, you haven't seen it, so yeah.
No,
we can trust me on one thing.
That.
You're right, and I know you like Lower Decks. It's not my bag, but that's fine. So I can't comment on that too much. You could trust me on this one. You could take it to the bank. You stick it in the bank, and you'll make bazillions of dollars on the interest. Not the worst episode of this show, or any of the other Trek shows, is still Shakespeare's finest moment ever, compared to the loathsome filth of Star Trek P-Hard by Alex Kurtzman.
Mm-hmm.
So you're good. I'm confident in that. That no matter how, yes, there are episodes that we really love to just rag the hell out of them, but next to
maybe my number 1 least favorite episode this season would fit right in with the film.
I mean, it's bad, yeah, but bad. See, there's this thing. Here's the thing about that, though, Jill. For me, it's bad. It's just bad Star Trek, and I can see we've had 735 episodes. I can handle a bad episode. They're bad episodes of all the shows. I could take a bad one because you go, and again, a whole bunch of them get a little annoying after a while, like we're having this season. But when at least it's Star Trek, so the filth is not Star Trek, and it's keeping us from getting real Star Trek. So in other words, if it were just some crap we don't care, but see that some people could go, well, just don't watch it. Yeah, and that's true.
But it has the name on it.
Trek. Right, exactly. Because it exists, we won't get real Star Trek. So that's why a bigger reason to hate it than just it being bad.
Everyone in the chat, Zathras has gotten out of line. I would like you to please take out your Klingon pain sticks and help Zathras. Help Zathras. Help him as much as you possibly can with your Klingon pain sticks.
What did he do now?
Apply them immediately.
All right, what did he do? I can't see it.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
All right. Dadman says C+. Still too many duds, and when they were really dudded, and when they were duds, and when they were really dudded. But some much better episodes this season than in prior seasons for me. Yes, Raquel, I was trying to think about to write.
Yeah, I knew that you were. I knew that you were, because you're sitting back there and you're thinking to yourself, well, Raquel has these notes and Clobby has this fabulous memory, even though he thinks he doesn't. And so you're thinking about all the episodes and you're thinking to yourself, what should I give this rating? So I kind of knew that you all needed a little bit of a burp to figure out what you wanted to say. So yeah.
Kate, the wonderful Katie Carr, it just always does my heart good to see you here, Katie. We really appreciate you there. Says season 6 was good because Troy's started to wear a uniform, and I liked Beverly's hair. Well, I did like her hair too, but I like redheads, so I'm biased that way, Katie. I know it's a woman thing, looking at the costumes and hair. Well, hey, not necessarily. We all looking at Beverly too because she's cute. Sorry, I know that's a male.
Troy did look a lot better. Yeah, she does look a lot better
in the uniform.
With the uniform, and actually, she looks much cuter too. I mean, the other,
I think so.
their outfit did not do anything for her, for her figure. I thought, and she kept saying that was the cleavage outfit. It's like, it was. Right. I never thought she looked good in that. So, and her hair.
You mean bumps? You mean having bumps. In your uniform equals cleavage?
Yeah, I'm like, what? That's not a cleavage. I'll show you cleavage. Well, not me.
I'll show you cleavage.
Oh my goodness, what has happened to us?
What has happened?
But in seriousness, it had some good moments. Well, thank you so much, Katie. We appreciate you. And I do agree there were some good.
Hey, Scotty's here.
Scotty.
And so is J25. And J25 sent you a gift. You got a little Prezi waiting for you.
Well, hello there, J25, and hello there, Scotty. Good to see you, my friends. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see here. Pop Culture Republic says D to a C grade. There were bits of it that I remember, but a moment here or a moment there does not make a good season. Fair enough.
There's some cleavage for you folks. That's actual cleavage. Cleavage. Lady bumps. Chesticles.
Beautiful.
Well, no, I don't know what she's.
No, I thought that was the grammar police.
Yes, the grammar. She is the grammar. No, we love that one. We love it. Anyone you want to do?
Yep. Here we go.
Had to start up, did you?
All right.
There's
that one. Clobby likes that one.
Oh my! Wow. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to cleavage, as long as it's there and I can see it.
Lady bumps.
You're so toxic.
I am. I'm very toxic.
B- for Mega Cropper. Well, thank you, Mega Cropper. I hears you. Larry says, "Go away, or I shall have told you a second time." Nice to say, Nick. Claude Perishable says, "'Tis better to have luffed and lost than never to have luffed at all." I don't know why that was. Why number one thought that was to be starred. We have to have a starred review.
I feel like that's Scotty's review for Descent. Beverly is cute.
Yes, that was my review. No, sorry. Oh, now we got Andorians. J25 for 555. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Thank you. Says, where's the damn super chat inducer? I like that Star Trek 3 reference. Thank you. This, that, or nothing. I've been away a bit. Wanted to offer this to you, Clobby, and your valiant. I give 2 minutes for you and your gallant crew. I like all the Star Trek 3 love there, JT25, because I love Star Trek 3. I'll defend it to anybody. I saw it 15 times in the theater in 1984, and the Enterprise is not 20 years old, Admiral. It's 40. Yeah. And every time he said, Jim, the Enterprise is 20 years old, my friends and I all yelled, 40! Because we did the math. I'm a mathematician.
Had enough of you!
Mulch, show it you. I love that. Say the wrong thing, Torg. I love when he blasted it. Hot duck bach. Okay. Number one, our great friend Big Mac Drop Bear has a lot to say. So, if you're able, or
hello,
take it away.
He says, my math resolves to a C, but the season doesn't really deserve such a high mark. It was an uneven season with an overemphasis on character studies and an underemphasis on science fiction. This is such an intelligent comment, and it's something that I have seen in the writing as well, this sort of appeasing the person behind the character and overwriting the character, giving the characters no personality that you can rely upon. They're experts at everything. Their interests seem never ending. And yet we're meant to believe that they're an expert at everything. And so, yeah, it's super annoying. I don't like it either. And I love that you notice it, Enigmatic Drop Bear. I notice it all the time. Hate it, hate it, hate it. And then just let me unstar that. And then we'll put this one up. And then he says, a cynical view would be that it was typified by lazy writing and deficient editing. Yes, I think both of those are in play. There were too many contradictions, contrivances, and indulgences that served to defy believability. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think it is due to these actors and actresses saying, okay, look, I'm on this science show, but I'm not really into this science thing. How can I stretch this character to show what I'm capable of as an actor or as an actress? But what ended up happening is that when you have 50 or 100 different areas of specialization that require years and years and years of university, people are just sort of like, meh, because if somebody doesn't actually have an area of specialization, you can't say to yourself, oh, well, that's amazing about this character, because there's nothing amazing about it. It seems like they have never-ending interests and never-ending capabilities. So totally agree, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Love your comment, honey.
Thank you, Edie, and
I agree
thanks
too.
to whoever nuked those
I was
bots.
too nice.
Joel got him. Yep. Thank
Captain
you, Joel.
James C. Skywalker. Thank you, Joe. Well done.
You're welcome.
So, well, there we go with our. I think we got everything as far as our season reviews. Now I think we'll just do the good, and we'll start with the bad, since the season is. Yeah, we'll knock out the bads. I don't know. Maybe what do you think? Bad first?
Yeah, bad first, so we can end on a high note.
Well, that'll take forever though. No, I'm just kidding.
And then you can see Dadman wants to see my spreadsheet after. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't dox yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Claude says my
my
wife
superpower.
doesn't let me date.
It's tough to.
Claude is speaking directly to these trolls or bots, and he says, my wife doesn't let me date.
I can't really, man. There's so many. It's it's almost tough to pick the bad ones, and the easy. There's so few really, really good ones. Those are kind of easy to single out. And after we do this, folks, we will ask you to give us 2, 3, 4, if you maximum 4, if you can think of 4 that you really like.
Okay.
But man, coming up with bad ones. I mean, there are so many crappy ones. Like Jesus. So I guess we will start with number 1.
Okay.
Give us your. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It can be 1, 2, or 3. Just minimum of, I guess. We'll do a minimum of 4. But if you got more than that,
Okay.
really bad.
So
ones.
So we've got the good, we've got the bad, and we've got the
We're
ugly.
doing bad right now.
Would you like bad and ugly mixed?
You mix them up because they're both the same thing, really. Aren't
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the bad. So I'm going to say that my first entry for bad would be Rascals. I gave it a D-. Of course, this is Adam Nimoy's Little Rascals episode on Halloween. I think it's ridiculous, the whole thing. I'll just give some highlights here. Screen Rant names this episode the best comedy episode in all of Star Trek.
Oh,
and then I wrote
crazy.
in yelling all caps, barf. And then why is Guinan a kid? Guinan was born in the late 18th century, around 1775. This takes place in 2369, making her 594 years old. She isn't human and doesn't even have the relevant DNA for this puberty cycle. Transporter magic. The Ferengi took the Enterprise via a boarding party called an assault team, which is, 6 Ferengi. 6 Ferengi. Where's Starfleet? Ronald D. Moore helped write this and removed his name from it. This is the biggest suck of all of the suck. Well, not all. It's not the biggest suck, but it's pretty close. Rascals. Didn't like Rascals.
Wow.
Next we have and I don't even know if I need my notes for this one. The next one that I have at a D- is Aquiel. Why didn't they scan for life signs before boarding? Why didn't Bev scan the dog? Normally she would, in which case all would be revealed. I thought it was very sad that she didn't scan that poor dog. What if that dog was hurt or dehydrated? She's supposed to be there to be there for the dog. the whole like kissing, it's really barfy. I just kept writing barf and burf. And another telepathy sex rock. I believe that I coined that phrase for Star Trek fans. Telepathy sex rock. Everybody take out your telepathy sex rock. Now go to your window, open your window, and throw your telepathy sex rock out of it. So Aquiel is a D minus. Moving into the F category, the ugly. We're going to go to the F, the first F of the evening, man of the people. This episode was written by Frank Abate Marco, I believe it is. This is ripped right from the pages of Oscar Wilde's A Picture of Dorian Gray. It's just the biggest fail of all the fails. Stop borrowing stories from other people and innovating them and trying to make it seem like you're writing something. You're not. And then, of course, we have my final entry for F, which is, it's coming. I'm sorry, folks. Just let me get it. Ship in a bottle. And you will recall that on air, despite the fact that I avoid profanity, I did call this episode Shit in a Bottle. Of course, this was episode 12. Moriarty cannot have DNA, as Bev says he does. Holodecks are not fantasy. They are science. Holodecks are light. This is not possible. Why would Data suggest it may be temporary? This is ridiculous. Light from the holodeck cannot exist outside of the holodeck. The holodeck is a closed room that projects images via light. The request of the Countess and refusal is ripped directly from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Why doesn't he, when he first comes out, why doesn't he ask for Pulaski? He was really after Pulaski, wanted to have tea and crumpets with her. On the flip side, that didn't happen. Virtual reality has no DNA. Augmented reality has no DNA. No one in Starfleet would be fooled or tricked by Moriarty's trick. That is horse hockey. Holodecks use holograms to create the illusion of solid objects. Data in the transporter room calls up the LCAR's log. It shows as transport log 551, but Data says 759. This is one of the dumbest episodes in the history of Star Trek. Just dumb. Oh, yes. And my other comment, Geordi, the Decker unit, and Worf are all left-handed. So that was weird that they did that because, of course, they're the Star Trekkies always talk about the fact that they're all left-handed. So it was weird that he was then right. And the comm badges cannot be looped into holograms. They would need to be reprogrammed. So take this job and shove it. No, take this episode and shove it. This is shit in a bottle. It is an F. Those are my
Captain James C. Skywalker. Hello there. Good to see you there, buddy.
Every time you make that sound, I remember that should have been in the fistful of Data.
You know what's weird? Yeah. This season's so abysmal, but I can only really think of 3 that I hate. That I think are, no, there are other ones that I don't like. I'm just the ones that stand out. You've covered them, so I don't have to go too far in my mind. But Man of the People just deserves another mention of garbaginess. Aquiel, but I think Frame of Mind might be the worst piece of garbage this year. It's so fuck. Oh, almost did it tonight. It's so.
Beep.
It's just annoying. But I think most of the season is just a mass of garbagey stuff. So as far as really, there probably are some, and I said this a little bit early on in some of the episodes of the season. There are probably episodes in earlier seasons that are worse than all of these. In fact, I think there are that really made me angry. These are the ones that stand out as the really horrible stuff for me. So you got mine there. So now, Jill, again, no pressure. If you can't think of 1 or 2, or if there's none you hate, you can say I don't hate one of them. All fine and good. But just if you have any to mention now that you dislike or hate really a lot, couple, 1, 2, whatever, 3, 4. It's up to you. We split up minimum 4 really. But, yeah.
Well, number 3 and the one I hate or dislike. I know that there are worse episodes than these, but remember that I didn't watch Aquiel or Man of the People.
Oh, it's
So
no
just
fair.
include them.
You didn't watch Man of the Poop Hole?
No. But they probably would have made this list. So
Possible. Yeah.
anyway, my number 3 is Suspicions.
Yeah.
It's noteworthy and being one of the most disappointing episodes for me because I wish we had more episodes where scientists of other species are highlighted.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just bad execution, huh? Jill?
Yeah, that episode had potential, but that's on my list of bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think we lost Jill. I can't hear.
Where is Jill?
He's not muted, but if you're hearing us,
Come back, Jill.
We're not hearing you, Jill.
Beam back in. Yeah.
it's going to be
Hello?
something different. Yes.
No, we
now
lost
you're
you
Hello?
for a
Can you
second,
hear me?
Jill.
Yeah, you're
Now
back.
I can hear you.
Oh, where was I?
I
Where
don't
was
know.
I? What did I say?
You said something about we were talking about suspicions.
Another
about
dimension,
alien
another
races,
dimension.
and then the aliens abducted you for a few seconds. I
Yes, yes,
guess.
there you go. So yeah, you were just talking about how the episode was interesting, but that didn't work.
Poop,
You
we
there?
lost her
Can you
again.
hear me
Now I hear you.
again?
Yeah, I don't know what's
Can you hear
happening.
me again?
Yes, we hear you again now. Strange. Continue.
Okay, anyway, it was noteworthy because it was one of the most disappointing episodes because I wish we had more scientists of other species, especially those that are are seen as more militaristic or have some other singular attribute, because we know they have scientists since they're in space, but that's what makes this episode a bummer for me because they didn't explain the science. They just shoved this episode into a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I ever saw him alive.
Yeah.
Was a quote from this episode that I hated.
The butler did it.
Yeah, exactly. Very, yeah. So you say the execution, so like, because we talked about that when we talked about that episode, it was some interesting ideas and things like that. It's just that they just totally dropped the ball and obviously screwed the pooch as far as you're concerned. They didn't really.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh dear.
The other one?
Yeah, I got my Ethernet. Are you there?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
We're hearing you now.
Anyway, yeah. Basically, it just fails. I keep getting cut off.
That's I'm sorry.
Anyway, I was just going to compare it to J.J. Abrams' writing. Anyway, because of the twists that don't make sense.
Oh, I got you. The mystery box crap. Yeah.
So my number 2 episode is okay. So I really want to commend season 6 for trying, but again, it's just disappointing. You know that. Oh crap! Not again.
We're hearing you.
We hear you. Yep.
We'll let you know when we
Gotcha.
can hear you. But now we're not.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, now
Yep,
we got you.
you, Joe. Yep.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We're all good.
It's just an after party. We're just having some fun.
I plugged in the Ethernet cord, so hopefully that saves me.
Okay, cool. We got you now.
Okay,
Go
so
for it.
my second episode was the end of the 2-parter. What was that? What's the name of
Time
it?
Zero.
No, not Time Zero, not that one.
Chain of Command.
Oh, Chain of
No,
Command.
not
Oh, yeah, yeah.
not Chain
No,
of Command, but that might have been close. But the other
was
one,
it a 2-parter?
yeah, the other 2-parter.
Was there another
Well,
2-parter?
Descent was
That was
No, not
Oh, Times
Just
Arrow
that.
was a part 2.
Birthright.
Zero.
Birthright. Yeah,
Birthright.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
Birthright.
gotcha. Okay, I got you.
Birthright.
Yes. There you go.
Birthright is another example of an extremely disappointing episode because we're going back to Deep Space Nine. So that should be fun, right? But
Yeah.
it was just a tease for a really weird plot. Like normally I like to learn more about Klingons.
Right.
But this was just weird and forgettable with the Stockholm syndrome and the I believe in the chat for this episode. There was so much indifference and apathy for it that that Raquel thought that StreamYard was eating the chats.
Yeah, just no one cared. I remember that. Yeah. Okay. That episode was just dull. It was a dull episode.
Yeah, I mean the only cool thing was when Worf showed that he could be a good father if he wanted. But
yeah, there you go. There you go.
but
Good.
but the older Klingons kill the verisimilitude for this episode because they constantly lampshade that they know that a Klingon would rather die than betray their honor, but they do that anytime they can this episode.
Nice.
And they even say at the end, no one must know of this place, as if even the writers themselves are embarrassed by it.
Good point.
No one must know of this episode. There you go. Any other ones, Jill? Those are your
Yeah.
bad.
Number one was
go
my
ahead.
same
Go ahead.
as your number one. I didn't write the names of the episodes. Your
Frame of
number
Mind?
one
Tell us what it's
Frame
about.
of Mind. Yes, that's it. Frame of Mind.
Oh man.
That was a stinky poo.
I don't hand out F's easily, as you know. So you know this one is
true.
one of the worst. And it's so bad, I don't really even have anything to say about it. It's just a waste of time.
It takes too long. It's tough to think of something to say about it because all you just will do is want to yell, like Riker in the damn episode, yelling all the time. That's the reaction. Your review to this episode is to go, stop this episode. I'm in an insane asylum.
An actor.
You feel like you're in an insane asylum watching the stupid episode.
Yes.
So, Chief Engineer.
All right. Well, can I share?
Sneakers?
Can I share my first screen?
Oh my
spreadsheet
goodness!
here? Yeah. Well, I'm the engineer. I got
trouble.
Good. Well, come on, do all this fun stuff, right? I mean,
Of course.
there we go. So you got to have a spreadsheet, right?
Sure,
So
you
got
That's
to
what
have
we
all
do
the
here.
episodes, right?
That's how we roll around, yo. Up in you.
So
up in you. Here we go, folks. Time for the dissertation from the engineer.
yeah. So in an hour later, I'll be finished. No. So my grade was 2. I guessed a B minus. So I was actually 2.21 out of the 4 scale. So C plus for
Well,
the
you made
season.
a whole list. Wow. Go for it.
Yeah, I got the whole list. Well, yeah, I just copy and paste, but you got to have a spreadsheet, right? So
Go for it.
I'll go quick as you guys have mentioned.
No,
all.
no.
But,
Do what you gotta
I mean,
do.
we'll rehash these bad episodes, but yeah,
Yeah.
Man of the People, we all agree, right? I mean, we all have good taste. So Man of the People's a 0, Aquiel's a 0, Frame of Mind's a 0, and then you got the ones. It's like, well, Schisms is a 1. The only one I like, I guess I have to say, I like the Ship in a Bottle. Sorry, Raquel, a little bit more.
I
Just
did.
like some of the stuff was
Until
interesting,
she
even
ruined
though
it for me. But I liked it.
yeah. So
Silence!
don't point out those. Don't point out the logical screw ups in
don't
the episode.
Stop using,
Yeah.
Stop
the
ruining.
actor-
Call me a killjoy.
Yeah, quit using your brain, Raquel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stop it.
Suspicions was bad, and then and looking back again too, like Birthright, like you're saying, Jill.
First
did
part
like
was
the Worf
okay, but
stuff.
the second part
Yeah,
was
I gave it a 3 and then a 2. It's like that's a C, and a C is low for me for Star Trek. I mean, it's just like you love the Worf stuff and the Klingon stuff, but and then of course it led into the Jesus episode, which was which one was that? A Rightful Heir.
Rightful
Which was
Yeah.
that was just such a bad episode. So
it was crap.
Such a betrayal of Gene Roddenberry and the way the script was written and the fact that Ronald D. Moore said that was Jesus. That was definitely the wrong thing to do. I said it on air before and I'll say it again. I'm an agnostic, but I have so much respect for people of faith. And I think that that what was said there went way beyond what Gene Roddenberry would have ever allowed. And I believe it was last week that I put up the script, and I basically annotated it to reflect Ronald D. Moore's comments, and you can see how offensive it is. And that's not what Star Trek does. That's not what Gene Roddenberry did. It's not what he wanted. And as you all know, because I have pointed you to his humanist article that he did in 1991, right before he died, he actually made specific mention of, getting into basically an argument and preventing people from mocking people who he was working with, including Michael Piller, from making fun of religious people. And so not nice. And that is not a good episode. That is just, that's a betrayal of Star Trek and everything Star Trek believes in.
Yep.
Yeah, because you should have gone about it like the Savage Curtain did. I mean, I can see, some people, I've seen some people in the chat like the episode, and that's awesome. Have different opinions. We love discussing those, but I think that Savage Curtain did it better. And then rewatching again too with collarless, dressed in white. I go, wow, that's and I caught the Jesus, without reading anything. I'm like, it's when you're watching it to kind of critically analyze an episode too, with the show like this, we love having fun and watching it. Like, and some things I can point out in Wrath of Khan or some of my favorite stuff, where there's minor stuff, and sometimes you just got to let that go, as long as it fits the characters and not betraying the spirit of the series and the characters. But look, you look at this chart. I mean, you've only got 3 A's. The majority of the chart is below a 2, and a C.
Wow.
Hey, if you get a C in my house, that's almost like a fail.
That's true.
You get
The
a C,
majority's
like you should
under
get
2. Wow.
And then there's only a few episodes that I gave 3, so that's out of a whole season with that 26 episodes, and a lot of it I think is just because you, at this point, like I said, you like the characters and you enjoy the characters, and it's you give it a kind of a pass. You're like, oh, but at this point, you really got used to Captain Picard and you like Picard, and Worf and Data are probably my 2 favorite characters. So, and
You
if
mean
any
Woof?
episode, Woof, Lieutenant Woof.
Well,
So it's looking back, it's a disappointing season, especially since they had hit their stride, finally hit their stride, and we had some good sci-fi. But I think they dropped down to too much of the, like you guys said, too much of the character study and too much of the non-sci-fi, stuff. Or part of it is okay, where like you get a Barkley episode, Realm of Fear.
I'm changing my rating to D on this season. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, just thought I changed it. Yeah, you redid your spreadsheet. So
Yes.
yeah, so some certain character studies can be good if you earn them, and if and they're woven into a decent episode where you've got what's the name of the transporter episode where Kirk gets split into 2 beings? TOS.
In the middle within.
Yeah, thank you.
Within.
So what a great character study that episode is, versus Riker getting split into 2 people. What they considered, they went with the romance on that episode. Second Chances. Was it Second Chances? Yeah. Oh yeah. Why did I give that a 3? That's a 2.
Yeah, and notice
Yes,
as
there
you're
we
looking
go.
through
Anymore.
this chart, how many of the stories were not written. Look at how many of the stories are teleplay innovations. So they've innovated
Second
another teleplay or another story. You've got Charles Dickens in this season. You've got Oscar Wilde this season. You've got the original Trinity from TOS. So they're borrowing and stealing all of these story ideas, and they all suck. They all suck. We've got Quincy and Murder She Wrote. We're pulling story ideas from everywhere. Just write a damn story yourself. Just write a story. And if you can't write a story, you're not a writer. Go away. Take your shadow
It's
and
funny.
be goneth.
It's funny how the best of original Trek still holds. I mean, obviously it has its bad episodes. Hello there, Tim Stocks. Good to
Hey
see
Tim.
you. It's funny how the best of original Trek never goes down at all for me. The best ones, you could criticize episodes, and we did, but it never ever makes me look back and go, "Wow, I never realized this show was so flawed." When this one does not, it does not hold up all these years. There's so many of these episodes, in spite of some of the really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, it doesn't. It's pretty telling, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
Agreed.
anyway, so is that it, Mark, or do you want to give any?
Yeah, no, that was a. I hope you
we get
enjoyed
on
my
to our good ones now.
dissertation. I hope I
Well
get
done.
my doctorate in Trekkery.
Get on to our goodies now. What do you think of that?
Dun,
Before
dun,
we
dun,
do that,
dun.
though,
The good
before
ones.
we do that, almost forgot. Our wonderful friends in the chat, please, you could list a couple of your episodes that you hate. Anyone, 2 to 3 episodes or whatever. At least if you could try to do it in one or 2 chats, it's fine. If you want to talk about them a little bit, it would take too long. Dave, good to see you there. But
He's talking about Clobby's Clubhouse. He's like, which episode is when the Gorn was wearing a triple wig? Remember when Pop Culture Republic made Mark put all those triples on
Yeah.
the Gorn?
Oh,
That was good. That was
if
funny.
anyone wants to write down a couple of the ones they hate, want to mention them, something to say about them really quickly, please do so.
Oh, we've got Kal-El
Well, here, I'll scroll up so everyone can see the names of the episodes. That'll
It's
remind
okay.
you.
Hold on. Let
Yeah,
me.
if you want to look at the episodes, if you have one, you know, you
Yeah.
can just list one or two that you think sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm starring them now, boss.
gotcha. And again, not everyone has to do that, but if you feel
Yeah,
like
you don't
everyone
have
wants
to, everyone.
Well, it's
yeah, you
always
don't have.
fun,
Don't
yeah.
feel obligated. It's not like reviewing an episode, but if you feel free. Jill, how you doing? You got that worked out?
Well, I just wanted to restart
Okay,
because I was
you're
having
good.
issues again. So hopefully I'm good now. I think it's a problem with my adapter, my wireless adapter. I need to
Good. You
to
got
figure
that
out
good.
what's in my laptop and get a new one.
Zathras.
You gotta get a her to help you with that.
Excuse me. So let's see here what we got so far. Kal-El says, worst 4 episodes, Men of the People, Aquiel, A Fistful of Datas, and Frame of Mind. I'm with you there, buddy.
Good choices.
I didn't like Fistful of Datas too much either, really.
Yeah.
JT Kirk says, bad. Descent, Rascals, True Q, Aquiel, Ugly, Rightful Error, Birthright, and Frame of Mind. Wow, I'm with you there. There you go, man. Well done,
Yeah.
JT. Michael Beacom says, worst episodes? Too many. But season 6 is the definitive proof that the transporters are magic holodecks, too dangerous, and 2-part crap episodes are exponentially worse. Wow, there you go.
Yeah, proves that TNG should stick to keeping the 2-parters at the end of the series.
Indeed. Enigmatic drop there. Top 3 suck
Season.
from a veritable bounty. Yes. 3rd place, Aquiel. 2nd place, Rascals. And in 1st place, the absolutely awful magic rock laden man of the PayPal.
Man of the poop hole.
Indeed. Well done. Thank you, ED.
Love you,
Says,
ED.
let's see here. Zafra says 23 episodes suck. Need I say more?
Enough said.
You pretty much covered it right there. Enough said, buddy.
So funny.
Wolfie says schisms and aquarium.
Aquarium.
They stole it from the thing, yeah. And
Larry
Birthright
says Larry
and Man of
says
the
that
People.
2-parters always seem padded, Captain.
They do. Absolutely they do, yeah. They absolutely do. I don't no question about it.
I feel like maybe management said, well, the 2-parters make everyone excited, so do more of those.
Let's see here. Mrs. Dadman says the good, the bad, anything with Wesley in it, the ugly, anything with Riker and Troy featured. Fair enough.
Imsadi. Your agonizer, please.
Well, he did get a second chance.
J25 says, yeah. Honestly, I think the ratio of good to meh for season 6 and 7 are not that far off from seasons 1 and 2. Yeah. I think Mark's season 7 spreadsheet will be very interesting. Indeed, it will. Indeed, it will. Dadman says, bad, rightful heir. Just glad I slept right from start. Ugly. Aquiel or Geordie's Guide to Hitting on Chicks Who Just Experienced a Traumatic Event. And Guinan.
I love that chicks who just experienced a traumatic event. I love you, Dad, man. Oh,
So, are we ready to move on to the good?
We're ready for some good.
You want to just take the
I'll just hide. I'll just stop the
momentarily
screen.
till we need it?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, we can put it back on the end. Yep.
Number 1. Tell us you're good. I don't know how many you have. 3, 4. I mean, go up to 4.
I've only got 3. We'll start with the A. I gave Quality of Life an A. Quality of Life, of course, is episode 9. I love beards. The opening scene is annoying. Don't talk bad about men who have beards. I love beards. With The Measure of a Man, sentience has a face. The exocomps don't. And the story plays out sooner in the future version of machine sentience
Yes.
and the rights of life. Inasmuch this is true science fiction, we're talking about technological advances and creations with the potential for evolution and self-awareness. This is more of this Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus. I like this story. I always have. By disconnecting the program pathways, they admit the exocomps are sentient. They want to control what they're doing. It's a horrible admission. I don't blame Data for being quote unquote upset. Of course, he's disappointed, but I'm using the word upset. The Decker unit's solution is wonderful. Finally, the Decker unit is of some use. I love that Picard reassures Data's moral and ethical convictions in the wrap up. So I really liked quality of life. Of course, you all know that I think we should keep science fiction, and that Gene Roddenberry wanted Star Trek to be science fiction. This is why he was friends with people like Isaac Asimov and, et al. The
That
next
was on my
one would
list too.
be,
Love it. Go ahead.
pardon?
I was saying, love it. Great choice. It's on my list also. So go ahead.
Thank you,
And
boss man.
interesting also that Riker was important in this episode and also Measure of Man.
Ah, yes.
Good point.
My next one that I will submit for good will be Realm of Fear. This is, of course, episode 2.
Love it.
Widely noted as the episode that started the what rank is O'Brien controversy because of what's happening with the Pips. I write in yelling all caps, I love Barclay. This is a cool science episode. I love that the computer goes all Dr. Google. This is incredibly prophetic with regard to the misuse of information access and technology. It's amazing to me that they had the forethought, this idea of futurism, that one day folks would abuse. I don't want to say it because, of course, my house is live right now, so I can't say either one of her names. And Mark, you know what I'm talking about? Can you please say the two women's names for me so that my machines can't hear me?
I'm missing those names.
Okay, I'll whisper them. Alexa and Siri.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Echo. Yeah.
Yeah, so
your Echo device. Yep.
Yeah, it amazes me that Barclay does that Dr. Google moment where he goes in and he starts trying to. Yeah, and he winds up terrifying himself. And you need to remember that episode 2 happened in 1992. And so here we are, and I have to be very careful not to say the A name or the S name because they'll spring to life.
The Echo,
very live. I talk to them all day long and they do chores for me and stuff like that. So I don't want to say it, but just being able to call that up and ask that question and the abuse of it and how people are then not going to the doctor or they're just assuming things. And it also causes all this psychological distress because then you think you're dying because, of course, you always take the worst diagnosis. So I thought that this was absolutely brilliant. This is what science fiction does. It helps us to deal with futurism, technology, and the social consequences. How will human beings adapt to this technology? How will human beings adapt to going out into space? How will human beings adapt to meeting aliens? That's what science fiction is. It isn't anything else, and it needs to be based in fact. So I love, love, love this whole Dr. Google experience Dwight Schultz has or Barclay has. I love it. Dwight Schultz is an absolutely brilliant actor, and Barclay is so brave in the transporter situation where he just goes ahead and he just grabs on to what he doesn't know what this entity is, but he overcomes that fear and that anxiety, and he is a true nerd, a truly brilliant scholar, and he just reaches out and does it, and I love him for it. I love this episode.
Thank you, Wendy. I just want to say good night to Wendy.
Good night, Wendy. I love this episode.
Have a great night.
This is wonderful science fiction. So I give that one an A+.
Good night, Wendy and Jimmy. Thank you for being here.
Good night, superheroes.
Good night.
And then my last submission is Tapestry. I call this It's a Wonderful Life and A Christmas Carol. This is of episode 15. And it's borrowed, but it's good stuff, okay?
Yes.
So this, and I have some corrections.
Love it.
This episode takes place in 2327 in the past and 2369 in the present. Jean-Luc Picard was born in 2305, making him 22 years old and 64 years old. Poopy Stew was born in 1940, making Poopy 53 at the time. So Q says P-Hard is 21. He's actually 22. And Picard says he was killed by a random energy surge 35 years later. That would be 2357. That is 13 years off. That is a math fail all the way
Oh
around.
my.
Poopy
Math is hard.
P-Hard would be
Math is hard.
52.
Good night, Michael.
Good night, Michael. I love Johnny Luck Pickard. I love Ponytail Worf when they finally get rid of the Bob and turn him into Heavy Metal Woof. Heavy Metal Woof! Deanna's purported cleavage is back. Thought you were never going back to the cleavage. Your lady bumps. This is not science fiction. This is Charles Dickens. This is directly Charles Dickens from 1843. I would just like to say I don't thank anyone in TNG involved with making this episode. I thank Charles Dickens, and I give Charles Dickens and his wonderful ideas an A+.
Well, wah, wah, wah. You love that, don't you? I love it too. Wish I had a sound bite to play of it. Well, mine will be quick because I got 4. I'm just going to do it as a countdown of 4, like a top 4, and you've handled 3 of them. So my number 4 is Tapestry. Again, you've already covered it. Great episode. It's a Wonderful Picard. John Luck Pickard. Again, it's hard to believe the 4 I'm picking here in this season. That's how they stand above so well. And my number 3 is Realm of Fear because, again, I'm a Barclay fanatic. I love him. This is one of my favorite Barclay episodes. It's a pure science fiction and pure performance. This episode is a joy to watch. And my number 2 is Quality of Life. Again, you laid it out perfectly. Very similar in some ways to one of the great ones, Measure of a Man, but also different enough. Great science fiction at its finest. But my number 1 is pure nostalgia, and I will not apologize for it. It's Relics. I love Jamie Duham so much. Again, as I said, as I laid out before, my only complaint is that it wasn't a 2-parter. I wanted so much more, but we still got something that touched my heart. I love Relics. I've watched that one. That's probably, of the TNG episodes, in fact, it's probably, I know for a fact it's the one I've watched the most. I've gone back and watched it so many times.
Green liquor when you watch it, or something green?
Oh, I try to find something green if I can, even if it's just Mountain Dew.
It's
green. So I love this episode very much. That's my favorite of the season, and one of it's in my top 3 or 4, whatever TNG episodes. I adore it. So yeah, that's my 4 there. It was pretty easy, like Sunday morning. Chill. Any faves? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I restarted my computer so I wouldn't have any interruptions this time. And
cool.
At least for the good episodes.
Sure.
And
what you got?
I used to believe that Tapestry was my favorite of season 6, but I'm putting it on my number 3 here. Because I've always been a huge fan of Q. And he changes up his normal mischievousness for actual philosophical reckoning for Picard. Which is great because Picard is largely kind of neutral character.
Sure.
And Q is so into humans, unlike any other Q, so this really fits into his character for me. And it's relatable because everybody has mistakes they wish they could change. But this shows that those mistakes define us, and removing them removes life lessons.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that have positive impacts. Even if it seems like it's the worst day ever of your life. So really, it's a great episode to think about, especially if you're having a bad day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good night, Wolfie, by the way. And the thing,
good night, Wolfie.
I think the thing says it
Dream
all.
of starships tonight, Wolfie.
So continue, Joe.
Indeed.
Go for it, Joe.
My second favorite episode this season was Relics. And I'm sure I'm not the only one to put this in my top 3, but I just couldn't not put it. It pulls at my heart every time because who doesn't love the bridge crew of the original series? And I really do. I cry almost every time on the bridge, and it's just that good.
That scene's so beautiful when he first opens up when he first says no bloody A, B, D, or C, and it opens up to that. I mean, it never ceases to hit me right here. It's just
Boom.
love it. So
Exactly.
go ahead.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Even though Jordy's kind of rude at first, he does come around at the end when they work together to save the day, with Scotty pulling another miracle out of his back pocket. And I really love the concept of the Dyson sphere. It was such a wonderful idea that I wish they would have expanded on a bit, or revisited. It would be something really cool if we ever get Star Trek back for them to check out.
Yes, absolutely well said.
And
So,
for my number one, I chose
one.
Quality of Life. I love it.
Nice.
I had no idea this was my favorite episode of this season until I did this deep analysis of everything. But this is a cleanser for the heart of the character for Data after having to suffer through Descent Part 2. This is the pinnacle of science fiction for me because it uses the established technology of replicators in the series, the fictional science, with the actual current technology of today, involving the invention of robots that can reach areas that humans can't or have difficulty getting to, like the ones that find survivors in fires, earthquakes, and stuff like that. And it's the best episode to view the world from Data's eyes.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, and even though as humans we anthropomorphize technology all the time when we say like this computer hates me today. So it's even easier to see how Data falls quickly for the exocomp as a kindred technology with a mind that maybe not equal but close enough to be like a comrade to him. And he sees this when no one else does and fights for the exocomp just like the crew fought for him in Measure of a Man. And this is wonderful. And they're given a choice, and the whole episode is just a joy. I love it because it doesn't have a typical evil villain too, but more like a mild antagonist. And she's not even a jerk either. Usually they just make him a jerk, but she's
exactly.
You actually understand her point of view and don't blame her.
So well done.
Yes, and it's just what Star Trek should be. And if more of the episodes of season 6 were like this, just 30% more, then I could have given this an A this season.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jill. I hear you there. And Mark D with AC, Chief Engineer, do you have some top ones that you love?
Also, give it's the rehash of all the these great episodes. It's pretty easy to knock them down.
He's got his spreadsheet, folks.
I got my spreadsheet, and plus my mom. God, you forget stuff now, so no surprises. Probably I'd go Realm of Fear. Love Dwight Schultz, and one thing I really loved about that episode was they work together as a crew, and they don't just dismiss Barclay. Like, oh, you're a lot of TV show. Oh, you're crazy. No one believes you. And Picard actually says, I think it was Picard says, we need to look into this, and
he does.
They support Barclay, and they don't just dismiss him as a loon, which they treat him like a Starfleet officer, like an equal. And it was so refreshing to see that in an episode because it's such a trope on TV where you see, the one character that knows what's happening, whatever it is, and they just ignore that character until the very end. But no, they work together, and he overcomes his fear. So whatever fear you have, it's a great lesson. Like I hate going on roller coasters. It's a silly thing, but someone said, well, just close your eyes. And because my kids wanted to go on them and the wife wimped out. So I'm like, all right, I'll just close my eyes and just get over the fear. And, I did it. So, not a life shattering thing, but that type of thing can, that's what inspires you about Star Trek. You could put it to a much more serious issue, but that's when it's an uplifting thing, and they don't make fun of the character or look down on the character. So even though Barclay could be the butt of jokes, he's Lieutenant Broccoli. He's not in the end, and just love that. Because a lot of us
crew to be family.
Yeah, and a lot of us consider ourselves quote unquote outsiders or geeks or nerds or So that's that was such a great message, great message in that episode. Yeah, quality of life would be my next one. Just you guys have talked about that one. Talked about that one enough. Tapestry, I love. The only thing I'm not sure how much that one issue would change your life, but that's part of it, I guess too. Like you said, the Dickens effect with the ghost of all the ghosts visiting and how that would change your life. And what was interesting with Picard in the future is stuck living the consequences of that life. And I guess it's showing how much of a different, and like right away he wants to see how he can advance, and they say, well, you're an okay officer. It's maybe I don't know, we'll talk later. He's just totally dismissed, and you can see how that affects him. And that's just an interesting, and Q was great in that episode. And of course you never know if that was all a dream or if that was something that flashed before him, or really was that Q. So that's the beauty of that episode. It doesn't over explain everything. And I just mentioned real quick, there's some certain things in some episodes you really like the chase. I love, as the episodes have failed, but I love that whole idea of maybe someone did seed the galaxy, and there's an element there that could have been so much better if that was better done.
I did too.
So some things in these episodes, they had a glimmer of some sci-fi that could have been interesting, or Descent really failed. Of course, like Acreal, there's no way to save that. There's no way to save that episode. Chain of Command, which I would part 2 is probably the stereotypical A episode, and I think it's okay. The first part I think was way too long, and Jericho is interesting, and the torture parts in the end, I think now looking back, maybe Picard is overacting, but I think it did have a good message about torture, and it's not a sci-fi episode, obviously, but there's some good components of that episode. But of course, Relics has got to obviously have the Relics for the win. So, maybe it could have been a 2-parter, but maybe they put too much padding in there. I love what we got. So, sometimes some of these 2-parters can kind of lag a little bit. They're for good or for bad. I mean, there's some great things in the Dyson sphere. Maybe could have been explored, but just the way Scotty comes up with a save again, he's not a relic. He's very valuable and still got a lot to offer. And storing yourself in the pattern buffer. That's a great use of the transporter, not as a magic
Scotty
item, but it makes sense. It fits in the universe. It's not
it worked. It was very Scotty.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, let's just transport ourselves through and cure ourselves of any kind of disease, or re-age ourselves or de-age ourselves, or it just made sense to that.
Look,
made sense.
Don't make fun of it, okay? Cher's been doing it for years. Cher has her own transporter, okay?
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Also, what was very Scotty about that was that he said it was only 50% awesome or something like that.
Great catch there.
Yep.
Yeah, because he says, and he's didn't work out what was the other officer's name, but didn't work out so well for him.
Franklin.
So that was good. Yeah. Franklin, and of course, the scene like you mentioned where you go he goes into the holodeck, but then he realizes he's got to move on with his life. So that was an interesting. Now the send off, I didn't mind the send off as much. I know some of you guys didn't really like that send off, but I think with the confines of the show and the budget, it could have been a lot worse.
I'd have changed that, but still, I love it.
Yeah, but I like the sentiment of it was nice. I saw what they're trying for, and it was just great to see him go off. And do I want more Scotty stories? Yeah, it would have been nice, but it was just so much. And I remember watching that. We were waiting and waiting for that episode to air. Like, oh my God, we're getting, we got Spock, and the stories in that episode weren't that good. When Unification, I thought when Spock came back, even though we would love seeing him again, but this episode actually had, he was integral to the story, and he actually, helped to save the day in a realistic, fun way. And God, I love that. I was just so excited to see that episode, and drink. I probably was drinking some green liquor with that in college when it came out. So that was fun. Yeah, great episode. So overall, there were some. So I raised one of my grades. So I gave quality of life a 4 because I realized, thinking back and how good that episode was. So
Excellent.
We've got my sheet did an update, but yeah, so we got 4. I think we all agreed. Yeah, those are 4 number one,
Excellent.
episodes. So we think we pretty much agree on what was good and
Yeah,
bad
it's
and ugly.
not
Yeah,
a lot to choose from there for the best ones, huh?
yeah,
Not gonna be not a lot of variation there. So
Yeah, and in retrospect, Scotty should have been given a much bigger ship with crew and stuff.
yeah, but absolutely, I would love more. Would love more Scotty.
yeah. Because he said in the
Well-
end, he said he wasn't retiring, right? He said he was gonna.
Perhaps one day that's a place for retiring people. Perhaps I'll end up there one day, but not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The Norpin colony. By the way, friends in the chat, please, if you have any greats, now's the time. List 1, 2, 3 are your faves of the season. Feel free. You don't have to, of course, no pressure. But if you feel like doing so, now is the time. The word is given. So yeah, the Norpin colony to retire. Yeah, no, I didn't even mind people like. I didn't even mind the conflict between him and Geordi because it formed a friendship, and I thought that worked pretty good. In fact, this is, Geordi, learned how to take the stick out because of Scotty, and it would have nice to have seen them in a second episode, exploring that a little bit more, going down to the Dyson, doing something with the Dyson sphere or something like that.
Yeah.
What a great concept! And again, how many times have we said this? They always come up with these great ideas and almost never. Zachariah, good to see you there. Almost never go back to them.
Evening.
That would have been great if we could see an episode where Geordi, what he's learned from Scotty, has helped improve his creativity.
Yeah, it was just a waste. So many wastes on this show. Again, the metaphasic shield, they dredged it up like 3 episodes after an episode they already had it in. But they'll take something cool like this and you'll never see it again.
Well, I mean, they would have been
times
sent
on
a ton of Federation starships to just, dissect that Dyson sphere, see what they could find out. I mean, that would, think of the technology there. And what's so cool is that's an actual theory. So it's an amazing theory, but the technology to build, it's something like V'ger almost in a way, just the scale, even
Unreal.
much bigger scale than V'ger, obviously. So it's just a great sci-fi concept brought to life in the show. So it did get a little short thrift there, but
I think if the book, I don't know if it was by Peter David or whomever did go a little bit deeper into that, the adaptation of the episode. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly sure it added a little. It added more to the novelization. Again, I don't know if it was Peter David or who did that book. I know he wrote a lot of those novelizations, but that's what I've heard. I think Claude has read it. So,
and there was no one left alive in there, I guess, too. So that would have been
Apparently.
if they had some artificial intelligence, or that's the one thing that Star Trek is very limited on, as much as there's androids and TOS, but they never have robots walking around per se. You've got Data, but that's the one
More
thing.
exocomps.
With exocomps, I think you'd have more and more artificial AI and tech like that, on a starship, but maybe some of it was a special effects budget back in the day, or they just had androids look like people, but that's the great morality, or AI is always in all some great. It's always been in sci-fi as one of the stories. What happens when the machines try to replace us? Nothing new, but that's what's interesting. Like the Dyson sphere. What if they're inhabited by artificial intelligence or robots? Or they could have gone back. There were some interesting stories.
JT Kirk says, good ratings. Relics, Schisms, and Timescape. Okay. Thank you, dude. We have ED, Enigmatic Drop Bear, if you would like to do the honors, number 1.
Sure. I sure can. He's got one of 2 here. He says, my top 3 under Sufferance. In third, I have a tie between Tapestry and Relics. I know my second place, Birthright Part 1, will be controversial, but I found its central themes thought-provoking.
I was okay with part 1.
I liked part 1, yeah. I'm with you there.
And then 2 of 2, he says, and an emphatic first place with extra marks for being science fiction in a season devoid of it, the quality of life. Yes. Love those comments.
We're all on
and
the same
fully
page.
support that.
Looks like we're a lot on the same page there, ED. Does Zathras says Realm of Fear. Barkley, yeah, there you go. Relics, Scotty, of course. 3 and 4 Chain of Command. Watching Ronnie Cox bitch slap Riker. Well worth the high rating. I actually like some of Ron. I like Ronnie Cox in that
Yeah,
episode.
he's
I know
great.
it's not popular. I like him going. Let there be a dickwad in the 24th century. Yeah, what the hell? But, I mean,
He follows the regulations, right?
Nice. Yeah, he was just a regulations.
Picard
kind of
is
guy.
very lax, right?
He was. Well, we saw what he did with that board. Dead Men Walking, 55 says, good. Relics, anything featuring Crusher, any episode where Picard isn't in command of the Enterprise, Descent, Chain of Command, and Troy. She's looking hot in that uniform. Is Mrs. Dadman watch it? Keeping your eye on you when you do this, Dadman. I miss the quality of life. I need to try to go back and watch it. You should. In that sparse season, that's a delight. And a great one. And we've got bots.
I almost put that it could have been we were working a little bit. It could have been a TOS episode.
Yeah. Yep. And it really has that feeling of them. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, kind of like they're
not like episodes. There you go.
Yep.
Zathras is leaving, so I will just say,
later, Zathras.
Crap.
Good night, Zathras.
Good to see you there, man. And we appreciate you.
Zathras.
Thank you for being here. We're not too far behind you. So, wow, we got through another season. What do you think about that?
Great job by you guys. It's even despite some of the not so great episodes, we have a great time. Sometimes I think we have more fun on some of the when this.
You hate to be a negative
really bad
Nancy,
episode.
but so this is the thing. I never. This is my philosophy on that sort of thing. People say, "Well, all you do is hate everything." No, it's not that. It's just that if we're reviewing something, we have to be honest, first of all, and secondly, if we think an episode sucks or what have you, why be like, yeah, we groan, but we try to lace it with humor and try to. If you got to review the bad episode anyway, you might as well have fun talking about it. Does it mean we hate the show?
Why would we spend so much time on this show if we hated it?
Yeah, we love it. We're calling balls and strikes. I mean, it's coming down that plate, and if it doesn't make it across the plate, you're gonna go, "Whoa, it's a ball!" And if it's a strike comes in, that's what you're doing, and we're being honest. So yeah, it's not like you're being negative if you're just being honest that you think an episode is bad. But you're right; it's a little bit more fun to goof on episodes. That's part of human nature. You just kind of having a little bit of fun, but I would contend that still, if it's a really great episode you get excited about, like we just all have just demonstrated, we just talked about our favorite ones of the season, and we had a ball talking about how great they were.
Yep.
And can we hit Warp 9 through season 7 so we can get to Deep Space Nine?
Oh, I wish we could, but we're going to have to stick it out.
Isn't Warp 9 bad for the environment?
It is.
No, you're going to find out. Yeah. Okay, so next week the episodes will be, unless you want to report them, Jill. I don't know if you have them, but I have them looking at a guide.
Well, did we get, I beg your pardon, everyone, but I think this is a late entry from Stephen M. The Real Soup, our Kal-El. Yeah.
Tapestry, Realm of Fear, and the Quality of Life and Relics. We shared the same list there, buddy. And thank you so much for that. I'm sorry. I don't know if we missed it or what.
That's okay, honey. That's
I
why
think he just popped it in.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
we all seem to be pretty much on the same page there, Cal. What's that?
No, I was just gonna say, I agree. Like, you're being, that's what I was saying. You're a little bit more critical when you're trying to review something versus, yeah, that was fun and I enjoyed it and I like the characters. Right. And then, the mediocre episodes, I'm saying, when you're a real stinker, you got a real stinker all around. But some of the ones, when you think about them, and like I always joke, you ruin a lot of movies for me because you point out things, and like Cal pointed out all those things in Ship in a Bottle. It's like, but it was a fun episode. Come on, but if you're really grading, if you're really being, got to review that term paper or that project, you got to call it like it is.
Yeah, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Good to see you there, Courtney. What's
Hi,
you up
Courtney.
to tonight? Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Well, unfortunately, can't stay. Well, we're about to head out here anyway. But
we're heading out.
Love to you, Courtney, and it's great to see you. There we go. Jill was I was looking at an episode guide, but this is what the communications officer does for us. Of course, Jill says next week we've got liaisons, interface, Gambit Part 1 and Gambit Part 2.
Is it a dangerous episode? The first one?
Dangerous Liaisons joke.
Hey,
Okay.
that's one of my favorite films, and it's a wonderful book.
Oh, it is. No, just like I'll tell you that story about my mom's line, but I won't tell it now. But when one of the characters disrobes, never mind. But that was a hysterical watching with my friends.
Dadman Walking says, as someone who has been more of that other discount franchise, I really respect your honesty on how you felt from day one that we watched and helped bring me into the Saturday night show. Dadman Walking, I love you so much, and that is so true. And
he's a big Star Wars fan. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and the thing is that people need to realize that there's this appearance on social media that we just suddenly decided that we didn't like the filth because we didn't like the filth. It's just really important, especially for those of us who have been here for 45 or 50 years, that we're able to convey that we've always been critical. We celebrate when they knock it out of the park and it's gorgeous and glorious. But I mean, Star Trek is basically like a nerd and a geek's sports team. And when your sports team is not playing well, you say they didn't play well. You don't just, say that everything's perfect. And we've always been this way. And when Clobby and I first started this, there weren't a lot of people out there who were brave enough to say, no, I have criticisms of certain episodes. And so we just wanted to show that we had integrity enough to talk the way that we did behind closed doors at the time. I had the same kind of friends Clobby had, and we were criticizing it back then. This is nothing new. Star Trek fans hate TOS season 3. Wasn't written by the original Trinity. It was an entire corporate takeover. It's like the fourth or the fifth corporation that took it over. It was all shite. We don't like that season 3. I've always had criticisms.
A few of them, but
yeah, we've always had criticisms of TNG. We have criticisms all the way around because it's like our sports team. So we're trying to bring a realistic outlook on Star Trek to everyone, and I thank you so much for your comment.
Yes,
that's a great analogy.
I think the nitpicking actually elevates and makes the great stuff really shine all that much more.
That's a good point, Jill.
And it's fun.
Great point about the sports teams too, because we love to criticize the managers, what plays, the GM for who they have hired or fired. And it's like, but
I have known fans of teams too that won't even hear you criticize the team no matter how crappy they're playing. This is part of human nature, where some people just don't want to hear anything that they consider to be negative, even if it's true, or they just they don't like it. And I've never been that way. If something needs to be said that's critical and maybe maybe it is negative, but you still have to say it, or nothing ever improves. So you can't. I mean, just
as long as you're fair
yourself. We were never the kind of fans who were passively imbibing or supping the mush. We've never been those fans. Right. And people who think that and say that and regurgitate that on social media couldn't be more wrong. Star Trek fans have always been like this. We have always been like this. It's not, we're not like, worshiping it like it's some type of religion where we're incapable of criticizing it. That's patently false.
Yeah, we noticed inconsistencies and we point them out.
I've noticed a few fandoms have their zealots, some more than others. Like I love Star Wars, as you do, Dad Man. Star Wars has a huge zealot problem. It always has, more so than Star Trek, but Star Trek has not as much. Doctor Who has it bad as far as a zealot problem. They all have them to one extent or another, but. I don't know which one has it the worst, but they all have it pretty bad. I want to thank the great enigmatic drop bear. You are too kind. Aww. Thank you for this $14.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. I cannot thank you enough. He says the best thing about season 6 was Saturday Night Star Trek. Long live the 735 Club. You were too kind, my friend, and right back at you. The best thing about season 6 and any of this is all of you being so much fun to hang out with.
Yeah. And ED, especially you, there, a lot of people put a lot of effort into this show, and you're one of them. And you're just what you've done is you've built such a great community here with us, and you've been such a great friend to us all by always being there and putting yourself out there, your own thoughts and your own feelings out there. And there's a risk to that kind of thing. And so for you to do that, to be good friends to us and to build this community with us, I just think it's outstanding. Every person who
Yes.
participates here creates this wonderful sense of community, and you're one of them. So I doff my cap to you,
Hey,
the great
Mazers.
ED.
And I'm actually always excited to hear Edie's reviews because he
Oh,
has such a
great
great handle
reviews.
on
Hey,
storytelling.
Mazers. Yes, Mazers, good to see you there. But, absolutely. ED is just extraordinary, and all of you make your own unique contributions. You're all fantastic, and ED is just amazing with this commentary. It's just out of this world, and we appreciate it. Thank you again so much, and that enigmatic drop there, and thank you all for being here with us tonight. Now,
Hi,
I
Mazers.
guess, yes, indeed, Mazers. We'll do some quick show notes, and then we'll do our goodbyes, and we'll get out of here and all get ready for next season. Quick show notes here are Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. We'll a Clobbering Times tribute to one of the all-time greatest comic book artists ever lived. We just lost him this past week. The extraordinary Neil Adams. I don't even know how to. I just what a loss to comics. This is as huge as it gets to, and hopefully my friend Purple Valkyrie will join me. We will give him a Clobbering Times tribute. Wednesday night, the Clobby's Clubhouse, which is usually Thursday nights, will be on Wednesday night this week. And because it's anytime there's a big Marvel or DC event movie that I have to cover, it kind of changes my schedule around a little bit sometimes. Anyway, and Thursday night I'll be on Comics Division's special he's doing to review Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as a guest on there Thursday night. So that's why we're moving for Wednesday night. We'll have the Clubhouse. And then Friday, I can't believe I already forgot what time I have it scheduled for. Maybe it's 7
Around the
p.m.
7-ish.
7 Central, I think. Or maybe 6 Central. Anyway, I'll have a special Clobbering Times movie review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The great J-Man will be joining me, and I hope Mark D will. I put him up there because I think
It should be there. Hopefully, that's on your channel or J-Man.
Yes,
just
sir.
So people know your
It's
channel.
on my channel, and hopefully Sean will join us as well. And those are the show notes, of course, except for, of course, next week we'll be back here with the same Trek time, same Trek channel. And
Awesome.
Indeed, Mazerus, Neil Adams, that's as big a loss to any art form or any industry as could happen. And whatever the field is, to comics, that's about it. It's up there with the biggest losses that it's ever suffered. The art form of comic books, it's gigantic for us. So again, R.I.P. Great Neil Adams. Now, let's say some goodbye, shall we, to our wonderful friends. Before I do that, I want to say something in case he happens to be hearing this on a replay. Hungry Boy, we missed you tonight. We understood why you couldn't make it. We love you, man, and we hope you will pop in soon. I hope you'll pop in for the big tribute for Neil. But if not, we understand. Just take care of yourself, bro. We love you.
Yeah, we do. Take care, Hungry Boy. We're thinking of you, honey.
Absolutely.
Thumbs up, Hungry Boy. Yep.
Thank you for the $2 super chat, Rod Thunderheart. Appreciate
I
it,
didn't
man.
hear about Hungry Boy. What happened? Is he okay?
Oh, he's fine. He just couldn't make it tonight. He just told us he couldn't make it. But so we just wanted to shout him out. He's such a good friend,
Yes, he is. He's great.
Absolutely. Steve Mitchum.
Maddie's
Was
daddy.
here earlier, bro. As always, good to see you, man.
And you are not chubby. Chubby. Give me a break.
He's
Chubby.
doing that to motivate himself. I mean, I wish I could motivate myself like he does. I mean, I guess that's good for you.
Guy's built like a tank, and he's like, I'm chubby. Come bounce some quarters off of me. Anyway, kiss Maddie's whole
no
face.
fat
You know I
Thor.
love teasing you because I've been friends with you for a couple of years now. So I love you, and get your butt to the gym and kiss your gorgeous daughter's whole face for me.
Yes, indeed. And thank you again, Rod Thunder. I appreciate that, buddy. Michael Beacom, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you as always. Thank you
Good
so
to
much.
see you.
The great J-Man, I believe he had to run, but shout out to the great J-Man, of course. Raymond and Sandra Feliciano had to run, but shout out to them as well.
Yeah, they had a
Feliciano.
great 6-month anniversary for
They
their
did.
for
Yeah.
Dolphins channel.
They did. I popped in for the last couple seconds and said hello, but I couldn't. I just got home. So, JT Kirk, thank you so much, buddy.
JT Kirk. Mwah,
Appreciate
mwah,
you.
mwah.
James Caserta, thank you for being here.
Night, James.
I don't know if you're still hearing this, if you're still awake, buddy, but D. Bud Martin, feel better, man. Keep resting up there, bro. And thank you for all you
There's
do,
a bad
buddy.
bug going on. I've had it for a week, and everyone
He's
seems like
had some
everyone's getting
surgery recently. He's recovering.
it.
So.
Yeah,
well, feel
we love
better.
you,
I
D.
didn't
Bud
know that,
Martin,
but
and
yep,
thank
so
you for
feel better.
wrenching tonight, honey.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's feeling sick and he still killed that bot earlier. Great.
Yep. Oh, he's all help.
Feel
He is iron. He is the man of iron. There's no
He
question
is.
about it. Kal-El, buddy.
Joel.
Thank you so much for being here, brother. Yes, indeed. You are the super one. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. Mr. Angel did have to leave earlier, but still we'll shout him out anyway. The great chef. Appreciate you, Mr. Angel. And a big shout out to that wonderful hospital staff. They're in our debt because they're helping our friend there. We love them.
Take good care of him. We love him. And thank you for playing us in the hospital for him. You guys are great.
Absolutely. JT Kirk for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. And you're too kind, my friend. He says, it has been truly an honor to serve on this crew the past 6 seasons with Captain Clobby, XL Raquel, Comm Officer Jill, and Chief Engineer Mark D. We're going to have to assign you a rank. You are now officially an ensign. And we might put you in engineering. I don't know. JT Kirk.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
giving you a field commission as of now.
Thank you. And it didn't take 1,000 years like some people.
No.
And I agree with that sentiment too. I wish I'd been here from the beginning.
Well, I'm glad you're here now.
Yeah.
Art. We're just glad that you're here now.
Enigmatic Drop Bear, dude. Again, I cannot thank you enough for being here, my friend. I know we can't. I'm giving him a field commission too because it's just so extraordinary, and I'm assigning him to the BRIGGS crew. You are now officially our science officer.
Ah, great.
That works. Yep.
I'm off. Well,
We're going to send him some Vulcaneers.
I guess so. I'm offering the job. He doesn't have to take it, but I'm offering him the job of science officer. ED.
Well
you take
deserved.
this one. Yes. Yes, of course.
Somebody go over and put some pips on him.
The Dadman clan, Mr. and Mrs. Dadman and family.
Yay. Love you guys.
Great to see you both for being here. Thank you so much for your participation and your friendship. You are excellent.
You are. We love you guys very much.
Absolutely. I was honored to see the great Fet for Hire pop in here. Extraordinary artist.
Awesome.
Wow,
Hello,
the
hello.
evil
Friend of the great Doomcock, of course. Fet, good to see you. Terrell 72, my good friend. I hope you were doing well. We love seeing you pop up on Saturday Night Star Trek. So we really appreciate you. And I hope you had a good time with us tonight. We certainly always are so happy to see you.
Tyrell, I saw the message that you just sent saying goodbye and saying that you love us all. We love you too. You are such an important part of this community. We love your wonderful salutations, and you're just terrific. So take care, and we'll see you next week.
And you know what? Engineers should have an engineer's assistant there, and Kal-El might be the man for that job. I don't know if you want to. I think I might, because he's at least because we want him to be part of the crew.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he is now. If he wants the job now, he could be an ensign. Kal-El.
Wow.
They had to leave, but the wonderful Wendy Webb and her husband Jimmy, by the way,
The
shout out to them.
superheroes.
Absolutely, trauma warrior extraordinaire. And they call him Scuba Pete Scuba.
Scuba Pete and Leslie and
Leslie.
family. I love you.
Good to see you there, brother. Gotta get What does Scuba Pete hang out with us anymore at the Sunday Night Geekery? Is he too good for us now or something?
Once in a while, we'll pop in. I'm sure.
I don't know. I think he's a little bit too.
If he's got, well, it's late. It's late too. So.
He might be big time. I don't know.
Yeah.
He'd never
He
do that.
Maybe on a bigger gig somewhere. We don't know about.
Hey, Scuba.
Scuba, if you're hearing this, hey man, come on. Wolfie had to run, I think, but Wolfie, love you, thank you. Oh man, I saw Wolfie and a bunch of our friends here were at the retro blasting stream this afternoon.
I missed that. I got to rewatch that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. They showed me in pictures on there, like they were doing con memories, and I'm like, oh, don't show my ugly picture, Michael Belinda. No, but I love Michael.
Oh, come on. You're
Cal-El is
a good-looking guy.
Cal-El is honored.
Yes, you're an engineer. Who knows? You might even we move up by assassination on my ship, so you may Mark will have to watch us back.
No.
Oh, I didn't tell you we're the mirror universe. No, sorry.
No, we can't be the mirror universe.
You're in line. You might even make captain. Bah! Not on my ship. Love it.
I will like the thigh-high boots, though. I'm a fan of the thigh-high
Hey,
boots.
see, there you go. It's not all bad. The mirror universe. Okay, well, there you go. You're science officer, ED. Official.
Mr. Grant Gregory.
Mr. Grant Gregory.
Hello,
What's
Mr.
up,
Grant.
Masabi?
Hey, Grant Gregory.
I wonder what evil Raquel would look like. Just more eyeliner and a slightly sluttier uniform.
Well, I don't mind
all the women.
looking evil. I'll dress up evil, but I don't know if I could be evil.
Yeah, same here.
I can't picture
No, I
Joel as being
couldn't.
evil.
You
Yeah,
can't
just
be.
no way.
No, I couldn't
cat-
do it.
The Catman, a.k.a. Didi Myers.
And wife.
Good to see you. And wife, indeed. Phantom Outsider, buddy.
Phantom outsider.
Phantom Outsider was a man. He was a big man with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. My voice don't do that. All right. Apollome's minion and
The pepperoni.
go watch those dog videos, folks.
Yes.
Just Joe Jobber, buddy.
Jobber!
Good to see you, bro. Shooter 8323. Thank you for being here tonight.
Pew,
Appreciate it.
pew, pew, pew. You were outstanding. See you again.
So in the mirror universe, is Data evil and lore good? I don't know. It's a good question. They do have comics and books about
Oh,
them.
scary
Pop
things to
culture
think of.
curator, thank you for popping in, sir. No pun.
Good night.
Well, maybe it was a pun. Let's let it be a pun. Why not? When people say no pun, you go, let it be a pun. Mr. Tickle Truck was here earlier, the great one.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
And Keely Chow, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I was so happy to see the beautiful, lovely Janet from another planet pop in earlier.
She's a galaxy girl. I don't know if you know that or not.
She is, and she loves that song.
Oxyclass too.
I don't know if she is or not. I didn't hear the
Oxyclass.
song.
What's the song? Yeah, we don't know.
Oh,
if
I
we
said
hear
the song. Oh, we have a new person here.
Hello,
Zan
Zan Zoltan.
Zoltan.
I like that name.
I just came for the ending.
That's okay.
Zan Zoltan.
We do cool
Nice.
endings here. So, good to see you there, Zan. Thank you. JD Lewis, he had to run out, I believe. But good to see you, buddy. I
Night,
wonder where
JD.
LT is. I was gonna have LT here, and I must be busy. But LT, if you hear this later, because he does often, and he puts ratings. Love you, bro. Miss you. I'm sure you were out having fun with the wonderful Mrs. LT. But if you do hear this, bro, shout out to you, man. We never forget you.
Never do. We love you.
You're our chief of security.
Avon lives.
Avon lives, and long live the Legion, my brother.
What I also missed was Max Redstone. Did he have a limerick?
I did not. I mean, well, let me check my. I never checked my mailbox.
He
Like,
did
what
not
is-
message me, so he must have been busy.
must
Yeah,
have been
he was
busy. He
busy.
usually
We
lets me know
message,
things.
we
Yeah.
message one another, and so he must have been super, super busy.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. So it's that's all
He'd be
good.
here if he'd be here.
Yeah, he'd be here if he could. We
Yeah.
love Max. Max.
Oh,
is
yeah, I
amazing.
know
Yeah,
he
Max is the best.
Yes.
We'll excuse him just this one time.
I don't know if she's still here, but the wonderful, beautiful Katie Carr. Katie, we love you. Thank you for popping in.
Oh, and isn't it International Dance Day? I believe it's International Dance
it?
Day, and Katie is a ballerina. So if you catch that on the replay, honey, happy International Dance Day.
There's such a thing as that? Okay.
I believe so for
There's
all
a day
of-
for everything now. No offense
I
to
forgot.
dancers, but yeah,
I
there's
can't wait for International
donut
Day
day.
Day.
it's a donut day. There's
The day for days.
A day for days. There'll be next. Rod Thunderheart, thank you, bro. Good to
Oh,
see you, man.
Thunderheart.
Mega Cropper, thank you for being
Finger
here. The
Cropper.
succinct one. The Nat and Axamanda Bear, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Nirot. Anaxamanda Bear.
The lovely ladies. I love it when I'm just a ladies, man. What can I tell you? The lovely Sherry. Thank you, Sherry.
Night, gorgeous. Have a good weekend.
Indeed, indeed.
Night, Cherry.
Sathras had to run, but Sathras hailed.
Crap, crap, crap.
A man with a name so important he had to do it twice. Larry.
Larry, we love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.
And the man with the greatest name in all of history of the humankind, and that is the Thing. Clobber
Yes.
on clobbers.
He was here. He was clobbering.
Indeedishness. Pop Culture Republic. Buddy, good to
Pop,
see you.
pop, pop.
Brandon the anime guy, thank you so much, my friend.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for supporting the show. Not only great comments tonight, but thank you for supporting the show. That was really great of you. Thanks.
Mr. Grant Gregory says, awesome chatting comments with you. Hail. And hail to you. Yes, that was fun. Well, we got to hang out a little bit on Nick's show the other night. And we must do it again soon, Mr. Grant Gregory. An awesome bloke. Good to see you. Way on the other side, way down under. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for that generous chat. I appreciate you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Grifter, thank you for popping in.
Night, Grifter.
Minimus Prime, I'm not thanking you, but I'm saying your name for them.
Are you talking about Claude Parrish? Are you saying Minimus?
Claude?
Minimus.
Yeah,
Minimus, we love you,
Minimus
Minimus.
Prime.
And stop with your book porn.
Jay.
What's this about this one? I need to hear about
He's been posting a lot of pictures from his collection of books and other things he's on.
Yeah, you
Making
know, like,
Raquel feel really bad.
well, no, Jill is also a nerd. So, Jill, you know, like when we're hanging
of
around
Trek
with
stuff.
these people, they're always like they're always showing all this geek stuff.
Mhm.
Well, Claude Parrish went and he started showing a whole bunch of nerd stuff. So it's just like sexy old books.
It's geek stuff too. I'm sorry.
Whole collections
It's still
of
geek
books.
stuff.
It's just it's
Yeah,
terrible.
Geek Read
He's-
too.
Yes, it's nice stuff. A lot of Trek stuff.
On Twitter.
yes.
Yes. Well, I'll direct you to him.
And I've been calling him a bad man.
You can probably see it on Raquel's feed because he always tags. I don't know if he tags
He
her.
does
but she
tag
sees
me
it.
or
Yeah.
I retweet it because he's trying to put me in the poorhouse. He's trying to create another room in my house that will be dedicated to yet more books, more and more books.
All you need are more shelves.
I love you,
J25.
Jill.
Thank you, J25. Appreciate seeing you.
Right to five.
Our old pal, Captain James T. Skywalker.
Good night. Good night.
Tim's Talk, thank you for popping in, my friend. And Dave popped in.
Have a good weekend.
Zach.
You're saying, sorry, I was going to say, you're going to say for Valentine's Day gift would be acceptable for bookshelves, for a book lover?
Bookshelves, bookends.
Zachariah, thank you
Bookmarks.
so much for being here. Yep. Courtney
You can
popped
pay
in.
my tuition. Pay my tuition.
Good to see you. Thank you, Courtney, for popping in there.
Thank Courtney.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
we're
school
still here,
books
Rod.
are the worst in price.
They are.
Mazarus, thank you for popping in. It was great to see you. Mr. Grant Gregory, again, thank you. And Zan Zoltan, thank you. I had to get down to the end of the list before we were able to get on out of here. And we are about to run, my friends. Thank you. What a great week. What a great fun time this was tonight. And you all made it. So I want to thank, of course, not only my wonderful First Officer R.M. Briggs, but of course our crew members, the great Mark D. with the CR Chief Engineer, and our wonderful Communications Officer, Jill. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Jill, for being here.
Yes, and did we say goodnight to Pop Culture Curator because he was here too?
Yes, I
We
did.
did. We
Oh,
did.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I got
okay,
them all. I
missed
got them
one.
all written down there.
That's great.
We write them
And-
down at the beginning of the
Although I
show.
probably missed them. Something you never know when I miss somebody. But thanks. So thank
I
you.
also missed out on saying goodnight to Scotty R37.
Oh, I thought I brought Scotty down.
Oh,
there
you
it is.
probably
Scotty
did.
no, I did there. Scotty R37. Are you still there?
Guy!
I'm looking right at it too. I have horrible eyesight and a stupid memory. So
With some good thoughts by Scotty tonight. So,
Stupid
yep,
memory.
appreciate
No.
that. Yep.
What?
Zell-
You remember everything.
I have a horrible memory.
Right?
Sometimes I miss stuff. Oh, it's the worst.
Jill, right?
I'm so senile. It's scary. It's scaring me. Zan Zoltan. I always try to be in the streams. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Again, appreciate that. But it's
Oh, and
true,
ED
Jill. Horrible memory.
posted a math equation for his graph for the trending graph for the episode. So we need the homework is to graph y is equal to 0.007x plus 2.8.
I'll put Jill on that.
That's a
Jill-
very tricky.
Nerd.
Handle it.
Oh, Larry, you're
That's
a
not bad.
sweetheart.
That's easy to graph, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look what they do to me, everyone. All these people have educations. I have none. I didn't get out of
You have a
kindergarten.
great education.
Huh?
You've got a
No,
great
I'm
mind.
not
Come
kidding.
on.
No, I'm not even
That's
kidding.
why we
I have
love
no, I'm
listening
not.
to you.
That's not a joke. I have no education. Zero, folks. I got kicked out of
Could have
kindergarten.
fooled me.
Yeah.
No. I'm telling you. I rode the short bus and it was too long. I mean, it was.
What?
I don't even know what that means.
Don't be
But it
like
was,
that.
yeah, I was in no, it was they called them learning disability classes and stuff. They called them special ed, but that wasn't special enough. So they had but it's, by the way, I was in the Special Olympics. Everyone thinks I'm doing a stick. That's actually a true statement. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let's see here. I will play us out with these special messages. First of all, and then one thing
you want
from
to we should put Jill's channel up and
Oh, Jill has a channel. Jill, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
I didn't,
yeah,
hey,
well-
so do you.
Basically, it's just digital letters for the Orville that I have on my YouTube channel where I'm reviewing the episodes of the Orville, hoping that Hulu, maybe might notice it. Maybe
What's
they
the
won't.
name of the channel, by the way, so I can get the
But
link?
I just put it in,
anti-derivative
yep.
Jill.
Oh, you put it in. Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, that's great. And you're reviewing the Orville. Yay, I love the Orville.
Yes. Yeah, and hopefully that helps get a season 4. I mean, I know nobody's really watching it, but maybe it'll mean something to the metrics on
we
Twitter
watch it.
or YouTube.
We will be there. So,
Yep.
thank you so much, Jill. And then Mark D, please tell us about. Again, I forgot. Because
It's all
usually when
good.
it's just
all good.
Raquel and myself, we don't plug
Yeah,
channels up together.
no, but we
So go
love love. I'm sure everyone here is subbing to
Your
our
link in
channel,
there.
but so it's been great to be on tonight, and I went. We had a family function, so just show everyone real quick. I wore my finest watch.
Oh, wait a
The
minute.
family function.
Wait a minute.
So it's not really zooming in so good there, but
Nice.
if you can tell, it's a Star Trek motion watch. So it's got all these cool gears in it. So it's like, as you move the watch, it self-winding. So that's a cool engineering watch. So I wore my finest Star Trek. I did not wear the Wrath of Khan shirt to the event, but I just want to say, appreciate the chance to be on, and we've made a lot of great friends here, and it's been highlight. Saturday night's our highlight, and I'm looking forward to this. So check out my channel. I do 3D printing. You guys all know the spiel, but just check us out, and Sunday night we'll be on. Hopefully Sunday Night Geekery, hanging out and talking some fun stuff and enabling some people to purchase things. So looking forward to it.
ED said, I failed cutting out and coloring in kindy. I never have been able to acquire those skills. I've been trying to compensate ever since. Well, there you go. But they kicked me out of kindergarten for not being able to. Let's see, it was a very test. Can you pour piss out of a boot with the directions on the heel? No, sir. And I couldn't. I failed. I just made it up. I don't know. I've heard that joke before. I don't know where I got it. So, everyone, thank you all so much. We're going to play us out with a couple of very important messages, and then we're going to get out of here.
I watched 3 holodeck programs designed to be humorous, and I made 4 attempts to induce sexual desire by subjecting myself to erotic imagery.
What happened?
Nothing.
I'm curious.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Those are classic.
For you, Mr. Worf, I would love to explore Klingon memories. Klingons do not allow themselves to be probed.
Cadet, I asked you a question. Am I correct?
I choose not to answer, sir.
You choose not to answer?
Yes,
Hey. And now, good night, everybody. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the board here. Slow.